It's Thursday, August 10th, 2023, and we are back after a minute, after our mostly superhero screen and social, here to talk about The Flash, the movie that we saw at the Alamo Drafthouse Theater. So pumped to bring in this movie to the show, feature some fans, feature everybody that came out to the event. Also here in the studio, the Giggler, Scotty Scoop, Sam the Sleeper, zooming in from Texas, Danny Patron, I'm Logan, a special guest appearance from Chris Killian of comicbook.com, a jam-packed episode of Mostly Superheroes. Here we go. Hello, and welcome to Mostly Superheroes, a monthly, bi-monthly, weekly, tri-monthly-ish, every 6 months we get together, I don't know, ish, pursuit for the world's best stories. That's right, I'm Logan, here with the crew, here with the guys, in the St. Louis basement studio, 4 years, Mostly Superheroes. We didn't say it, but the screen and social was also our birthday, so why not? Happy birthday, and welcome back to the show. We have so much to talk about, so much to get into. Holy crap, let's just start with our first guy over here to the left, Mr. Giggler.
That's me. It's a me.
That's a me.
It's a me.
Giggler.
I've been playing a lot of Switch Mario games lately, so that's probably why that came out.
Do you think that is triggered because of the movie? Like, it's got you on this, like, are you playing a lot more Mario now?
No, me and Steph are on a constant quest to beat every single Switch, like, 2-player co-op game that there ever is.
Wow.
Oh. Yeah, and this is on the Switch. We've had some good nights on the Switch.
Got so many, mostly the Mario games, but we just ventured out to Donkey Kong, and it's going. That game is so hard.
It's hard.
I am falling to the ground so many times. It's so hard, but
the plumbing issues.
She's even worse, which makes it tough. But
yeah, and you've got some real plumbing issues happening in your house.
Yeah, we're growing together.
Yep, that's right.
The more Mario.
You're playing some Mario plumbing stuff. You've got real plumbing in your house that you're fixing.
I could use a real Mario at my house. You're right. That would be great.
Mario and a Luigi based on the problems you're having, it sounds like.
Yep.
Scotty Scoop!
Scoop!
Scoop-a-loop! So excited for this show. I feel like we haven't been here in like 2 months.
We haven't been here in a long time.
Yeah.
It feels like different. We just came off a really hot, fun kind of pop-up interview before we came in.
Excellent.
You're joining us live.
Really got the juices flowing.
Absolutely. If you're joining us live, don't worry. We're going to put that into our episode when it comes out in a couple weeks. Subscribe. Yeah, you get it. And to get here live, get to the Patron, you'll get it. Scotty Scoop, we've been doing a lot of Scotty medical emergencies lately. I was hoping that there wouldn't be one, and I saw you a couple days ago. We were swimming in a pool, and I think you should just tell us, like, what are you dealing with here? Some kind of unique sunburn now.
Horribly disfigured.
That is true.
I went to Florida 2 weeks ago, and I learned about margarita burn, which is a real thing.
Tell us about it. What's that?
So I got some lime juice on me. I was making a tropical drink with some pineapple juice and some frozen mango chunks and some jalapeno, and I freshly squeezed some lime juice. You know, we were at Airbnb. They don't have juicers. Had to use the mitts.
Right. This wasn't a resort. This was very...
Right.
Yes.
So I squeezed the limes, 2 entire limes, and just rinsed my hands, and I wiped them gingerly on my abdomen to, you know...
On your abs.
Yeah. On my rock hard abs.
Right. It's a podcast.
And put the drinks in the fridge to chill. I went directly outside and started fishing shirtless at the dock.
Having the time of your life.
Having the time of my life. And woke up the next day with terrible chemical burns on my abdomen.
I mean, chemical burns.
In my hand.
I mean, guys, I saw him days later. Chemical burns.
Chemical burns.
They couldn't.
It's
it
terrible.
looks bad now.
Right.
And now you're creaming.
I'm a week and a half removed. I'm using the aloe and the hydrocortisone, and it's not fun, folks. Wash your hands.
Wash your hands when you're making margaritas or
Yeah.
anything with limes in the hot sun.
I thought it would be the jalapenos that I cut up that would get me.
How many times do you think Jimmy Buffett, has gone through this? Like, I made this
I
joke
bet
right
this
away,
happened
but
to him all the time.
all the time. Margaritaville,
That's
like
literally why he was wasting away in Margaritaville.
That's the song.
I'm
That was the
wasting
whole-
away.
Yes.
That was the
I
whole song.
keep burning myself.
Oh, well, I'm glad you're okay. You are healing.
I'm good now.
Oh, he
Yeah.
looks like a badass.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
you look like
And
you're
a
like
little like Deadpool.
you're Deadpool,
Yes.
Wolverine. Yes. Sam the Sleeper
Wake up, Sam.
from Team Jakey here, one of our in-episode sponsors, one of our first ones ever. Welcome back.
Thank you. Three times?
3 times now.
3-timer award. Hand it over.
I already gave it up, so I'm not going to do it. I'll high-five you. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I guess we all wore the same shirts.
Yeah, we totally did.
I
Except
asked.
for Scott.
No,
Yeah.
oh no, this podcast, you guys, same shirt.
Right, same shirt. It's a podcast. Sam the Sleeper, how you been, buddy?
Good,
How's
I'm-
life?
Oh, it's been great.
Yeah.
Nothing to complain about.
No
you know?
burns, no floods,
I am burnless.
and your pipes are okay.
No. Plumbing
He
issues
needs
as
a
well.
Mario as well.
You
Yeah.
didn't win the golf trip this year. That kind of sucks.
What?
You didn't win the golf trip this year.
What
Oh,
golf
I-
trip?
I
I
never
didn't
do.
either.
What is that?
It's a golf trip that we have every
It's a
year
trip of
together.
golf.
Why do you keep saying it like we all know?
Right.
I don't know.
We talked about it the
would-
last
it
time
was
we were on the
just-
show.
Hey,
It was just an inside joke.
We
that
talked-
was-
Andy finished
I
all
know.
the beers.
We
folks.
talked about
said-
chiming in,
I was
Andy.
roasting Sam for a second.
No,
real quick.
it's because my life's not that good because I don't win the golf trip.
I know.
I get it.
You will.
Hey, Scott, remember the socks from the pumpkin?
Oh
It's-
man,
Hey,
See, I can do it
seeds.
too.
Socks in the
the
pumpkin.
seeds everywhere.
the
You guys
math
can't talk
the
about
math
that.
doesn't math sometimes.
It's
That's
the
just how
math
it is.
mathin'. I don't
Yes,
think the
that's
math
just
is
how it is.
And zooming in from Texas, Danny, patron.
Howdy. Happy to be back. It's been a minute. Was really enjoyed seeing everybody in person. Getting to do the
Yeah.
event.
At-
That was really kind of the
Great
the
time.
big highlight, I think, of
At-
the experience so far. Like, I know we're going to talk about Flash, but Flash will always go down in my mind as the event.
The best
I
movie
think I'll
ever.
I'll always be fond of it in some way because of that. But-
That's exactly right. I've been hearing these
I
reviews of the
know.
Flash, and I'm like, actually, we had a pretty good day.
I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, great day.
I mean, he just
Yeah.
stole my review. That was like,
That was your review.
it was like the day was
Couldn't
great.
have-
You wrote that down. And Dan, you flew in from Texas. You brought your dad. We're going to talk about it in a
Absolutely.
bit. But man, dude, yeah, that was amazing. I mean, thank you so much for
Yeah.
coming. It wouldn't have been the same without you not
Always.
being there.
I'll do it again. Traveling a lot for work, so I got a lot of air miles now. So
Good.
Well, boys,
be good.
welcome back. Yes, we did just come off a hot interview. If you're joining us live, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitch, and we're on YouTube. Trovo, it's not linking up. So
I think it's something to do with our plumbus.
we'll give it a try. Yeah, you guys, you and Sam had it all figured out. I'm going to fanboy out about you for a second. Chris Killian, this dude, I've been watching him online for years and years and years. I'm not even kidding. Comicbook.com, this guy reporting for those guys, doing crazy interviews lately. We'll talk about some of them. Stand-up comic, cosplayer, mood setter, exerciser, wrestling fan, movie watcher, sugar addict. I just stole that from your Instagram profile. And what I have to shout out specifically that I'm a huge fan of is the daily distraction videos. This was truly the way that I got my news and my recaps, and it was a daily distraction for real for me that I always look forward to. Your crazy outfits, the funny backgrounds, all the ways that you would spin it and keep it fresh. I was just always so impressed, and definitely a huge inspiration for mostly superheroes. And part of the reason why we're sitting here is absolutely folks like you. I just want to say thanks. Holy shit, you're here, Chris Killian, comic book. Really, really a big fan.
Well, that's very nice of you to say. I really appreciate that. It's kind of weird because there's like a disconnect for me, right? Because when COVID hit, we're owned by Paramount, and so they sort of set me up with like a green screen and camera and things. And the whole point was like we needed to keep making content while everything was getting shut down. And so we started, we'd already been doing daily distraction, but we did it from a studio. But it really seemed to pick up steam like around 2020 because I think everybody was like, nobody was getting anything, right? Honestly, before like 2020, I kind of had thought about going back to stand-up full time. I was getting sort of burnt out. and I was like, man, am I wasting like my best years, like just talking about like Batman and Superman and stuff, you know? And it was kind of weird. But then, you know, when 2020 happened and COVID hit, I never really considered like stand up went away. Like you couldn't do any live performances. There were no crowds, you know, things like that. And so it kind of brought me a fresh perspective. And then I started getting all these messages like from all over the world, like people in like India and Brazil, and people are telling me that like the only thing that they're looking forward to is like my daily updates and I was like, this is wild that it means something to people, because I really can't think that people actually watch me, or I'll just get in my head and it'll spin out of control. Like, so I really just feel like I make something and then I send it out to like this abyss of nothingness and nothing ever comes from it. So it's really bizarre to me to think that people actually are watching it and taking something from it. But it's very nice of you to say that, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And, you know, we're trying to do the work for you. You're the one doing the interviews all the time lately to see Daily Distraction. I think that's why it worked, you know, first of all, was because it felt so genuine. It felt like you were in your room with a green screen and I got shit to talk about. Like, you know, it did feel like the lockdown was happening and like, you know what? F that. I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys about my news. And now it's evolved to where you are doing crazy interviews. I just, you know, I stole this from your Instagram too, just going through some of your recent stuff. You know, you've been doing this a long time, but some of your recent stuff, you know, you got the stuff that I wanted to call out specifically. You were talking to Anthony Mackie lately. I mean, my gosh, the guy's on fire. Captain America movie coming up. Yeah, you're talking to him about Harrison Ford and switching pants, and he's in Twisted Metal, which is one of my Whatchu Watchin titles today. Twisted Metal, what a fun series!
It's so fun. I love Twisted Metal. I haven't got to finish it yet. When I interviewed him, I only got to watch like the first 3 or 4 episodes, and then unfortunately with this business is that like you find when you're doing these interviews and you get to preview these things that like, especially if it's a show, like I only watch like 2 or 3 episodes, like enough to get the questions that I need. But then I'm talking to so many people that it's the worst thing about what I do is I never get to finish anything. Like, because as soon as I talk to them, it's like on to the next thing, especially right then because of the strikes. Like all these people I talked to in like a 4-day time span, and then we've been sitting on it until like embargoes are up. So I talked to like, God, I think it was like 50 people in 4 days. It was insane.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's a side of the gig that like I'm not quantifying on my side. That's a lot of people.
Yeah, you don't get to just talk. I mean, at least for me, I don't just talk to like the big names, right? The big names are like usually who will make news. But I mean, you're usually talking to like the whole cast, or you're talking to directors and the writers, and I mean everybody. You know, anyone we can talk to that we spin out articles on comicbook.com with. So
yeah, and also just side little podcasts out of St. Louis. I mean, you make time for that too.
I only make time for you guys. It was just for you guys because I know we've been talking about this for a while, and so that is one good thing about the strikes right now is that some of my time is freed up just a little bit. But I don't know. I'm actually staying surprisingly busier than I thought I was going to. So, you know, here we are.
Well, quickly, Whatchu Eatin? We had a great time at Four Hands Brewing Company. Friends of the show, friends of Team Jakey, friends of Sam.
They're best friends of our show here.
That's it.
It's our show now.
Tonight. I love how you took the ownership of it. Four Hands Brew. We had the nice. I mean, got to highlight. I don't have the logo up here. I might have to throw it up in post. Peacemaker. Local restaurant that, you know, Four Hands and them have plugged right in together. Awesome seafood, nice bar food at Four Hands. We had a great time. Had an early Thursday afternoon, just kicking it. Andy had some free flights.
Yeah,
thank you for
nice
that
charity donation that I won a few months ago that I've been dying to spend. So got some flights and some free seltzers. If anyone wants them, I have them on the floor over here. Just let me know.
Yes, and we
some
have
floor beers.
I'll try one.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't highlight, we just had on Four Hands CEO Kevin Limp in the last episode, the one right before this. If you haven't heard it, he came on, he told us about Four Hands, the big 2 new locations they're opening up, their original locations about to triple in size, and the big thing we talked about. Voltron, Defender of the Universe, 80s nostalgia, beer collaboration, 6 breweries, 5 beers plus the 6th beer. That'll be Voltron. I'm actually drinking it right now.
So jealous.
Oh, I know. Here it is. Voltron Volume 1. Narrow Gauge Brewing Company is the first one. They provide the recipe. Forehands makes the beer. Kevin told us all about it. If you have not filled your ear holes or your eyes with that episode, go check it out. Tight 40 minutes. We broke the format. And it made me want to talk to a lot more interesting people because that was
Not us.
Yeah, I was like, these guys are cool, but man, other people, like you guys are cool, but like other people,
Like,
Are we cool? Are we cool?
Yeah, what?
all right, put this on the camera. Check out this can. We got him in the studio. I mean,
hold it up?
it's tough.
You're
Well, that's
doing
your camera.
Yeah, I was just saying, you're doing it. You're
Yeah.
nailing it.
Oh man, yeah. Well, I've had a few. We were at Forehands.
Yeah.
Yeah, check that out. Oh my God, it's so good, delicious. I almost wore the shirt, but we ended up with another shirt on. We're gonna talk about that in a second. Get your hands on that Voltron beer. Check out forehandsbrewery.com. And without further notice, let's get into some fan mail.
Fan mail.
We'll continue to feature fans first on this podcast, and we've actually changed up this slide a little bit. We used to put, the Mostly Superheroes Squad, exclusive, free, and private. I changed it to inclusive.
very inclusive.
That's with the times.
Yes.
Definitely with the times.
Okay, so it wasn't that big a deal, but everybody
I like that.
It's not bad. Like,
I like that.
exclusive it's a Facebook group.
Why not?
No,
Yeah.
you can get in there. It's easy to join. It is anonymous. It is private. And it's a lot of fun. And it's at mostlysuperheroes.com and on Facebook. Go to 754-CALL-LOG. Put that in your cell phone. Text us, call us. And we have a couple things to feature on fan mail today. First up, Flavortown. This is coming up. Mr. Guy Fieri, hero of the Giggler. He re-quote tweeted, or whatever the hell it's called now, re-exed, reposted, whatever Musk wants it. A nice visual here on the screen of Guy in a flying saucer in space. Giggler, you tweeted, what did you say?
Unbelievably flavored object.
A UFO. And Mr. Mayor Guy Fieri says, well done. 3 laugh faces.
I don't know, not
Yeah.
to toot my own horn, but that
That's good.
tweet
toot it.
response came within 30 seconds of him posting that original tweet. That's the only reason why he responded to it.
His phone was still in his hand.
It was-
What is that? Why are you
That's good.
downplaying your shout out?
Oh, I'm not. I'm just saying that
No, it's big news.
I like to think if
That's how
you'd been
quickly-
the 3,000th.
that's how quickly stupid ass jokes like that just come to my dumb brain. They just
We should see more of those.
I
yeah,
know.
for sure.
Congrats. I know that made your day. We went
Well,
crazy. I mean, 97,000
it
views, and
really-
that was days ago.
Yeah.
You might be
It was amazing.
weeks
That's
even.
why I low key tagged the podcast like in the next comment down. I was like,
Yeah, don't low key
It
do
was
it.
just
Put us
throwing
front and
it
center
out.
next
Oh,
time.
I know.
Oh, you guys got the secondary joke.
My
Yeah,
bad, my
exactly.
bad. I didn't know I was about to go viral.
And you are. It seems like it's about to happen. We're also giving away vinyls on the show, just like we always do, always will. And we recently gave one away from Radiohead called In Rainbows. Congratulations to Matthew W. in Tampa, Florida. Oh. I think it's probably already in hand. I mean, I mailed this thing out a while back. He reached out and gave us a nice Whatchu Watchin. We're going to feature it during Whatchu Watchin. And Andy did not want to mess around. You wanted to give out another vinyl. Which one?
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
I mean, I have it. I love it. We gave it away at the Screen and Social. This is something you've been listening to. We're going to give it to
So
a
good.
fan.
It's so good.
QR,
It's so good. Spread the love.
spread the love. QR code on the screen. Go to mostlysuperheroes.com/contest. And we're not done with contest yet. We'll have more in just a second. Got to highlight right now, June 24th. Holy crap. Saturday, June 24th. We had the Mostly Superheroes Screen and Social.
A day that would live in infamy.
Forever. All of us were
Yes.
there, and 75 plus of our closest friends at the Alamo Drafthouse Theater. We did proceeds benefiting the Boys and Girls Club of Greater St. Louis, Tiny Superheroes, Mostly Superheroes, the podcast, and we had a number of sponsors we'll highlight here shortly. We did a social with brunch, door prizes, live music from Samba Bom. Going to feature some music here in a minute. We screened The Flash. Going to talk all about that. And we hung out after the movie with Well Spent Brewing Company. Came around and did a totally 100% free beer tasting. I mean,
Unbelievable. You just got to ask them. They'll do it.
if you ask them, they'll do it. Casey showed up. We had so much fun. And guys, I mean, I think we can all agree. We had a good time. The movie was fun. We're going to talk all about that today. But the music really took over that event. Do you all agree?
Oh,
Yeah.
100%
It was
needed.
great.
Different event without it.
It would just be totally different. Yeah, it would have been kind of way different.
I would have to get on the mic a lot more.
Yes, you would have loved that.
Yeah.
People would have hated it, but we.
Yeah. You're
Just
100% right.
And I wanted the fans at home to be able to experience that music. So we're going to play a song full on through with a nice video here. If you're watching us online, there's a video component to this with some photos, but we're just going to chill and enjoy the music while we hear it. Feel free, we can talk over it and just kind of like highlight stuff you see. Here's Samba Bom right now, and we did get permission from the music artist to put this in our show. So here it is right now.
Chuva molha o meu rosto, porque eu sou menino moço, gosto com água brincar. Quanta chuva, que alegria, eu e esta linda guria saímos pra nos molhar. E cai tão forte essa tormenta, e atormenta o pensamento. Esquentou a brincadeira, pensei até te namorar. Pensei até em namorar. Chuva molha os nossos corpos, não queremos guarda-chuva, saímos pra nos molhar. Debaixo dessa
What a great day.
Really fun.
Who's singing right now? Is this
This is so Samba Bom has artists that come and go in the band.
okay?
And I think this might be someone from a while back.
Okay.
Had a recorded CD.
Oh, this wasn't you?
No.
Oh.
I thought he could do it all. Radio voice, a little soft.
It'd be pretty good.
Oh my god, who was that hottie on there for a second?
It's me.
There you are.
Oh, that guy.
That was Sam's big speech.
Great shirt, too.
Big hand talker.
That guy's got a
Tiny,
voice for radio
tiny superheroes.
and a face for a lot of stuff.
All right, coming up is the podcast booth time lapse.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
That music, I'm telling you,
I
broke the whole thing up.
I wanted to get in there so bad and talk about stuff, but I just
Same.
But
It's a
there's
good
so
thing.
many
It was
good
mostly
people
my
there.
kids.
So many good people there. I couldn't.
I knew if me and my cousin Max got in there, it couldn't be aired. I'm like, he's gonna cut a lot
You
of
couldn't
this
air
out.
what these kids said.
Yeah, 100%.
For real.
Mostly my children.
I can only pull out like 4 minutes.
I would have been. Me and Max would have been talking about
That's funny.
Rebecca,
I love to hear
who I
that.
met later. I'd be like, it would have not been good. Would have been good things.
That was a great time.
And here's that post social. Well spent. Man, that was so fun.
Yeah, no pictures during the movie, but
Right. As there shouldn't be.
Exactly.
For the record.
Yeah.
yeah.
Some people don't know.
Put your phones away, folks.
I filmed the whole thing on my iPhone.
I've made
Do
millions.
you guys want it?
I've made so much money.
Yeah, I rewatched it on my iPhone.
Samba Bom.
What a fun time.
Really fun time. Man, Samba Bom, Brazilian music right here in St. Louis. Moacyr and Rebecca and a lot of other folks that play and sing in this band. They have a lot of shows coming up. You can check them out at sambabom.com. That's SAMBABOM.com. We're showing a few other shows coming up here, August 12th, September 30th, and October 7th. They're going to be all over the place. They're going to be in Augusta, at the Winery, out at the Grove Fest, in Manchester, here in St. Louis, in the Contemporary Art Museum here coming up on August 12th. So get your you definitely see these guys live. Other places they play all the time. We were so lucky and thrilled to have them and have them be part of the Screen and Social. We had people give us prizes: Big Shark, the Gramophone, Great Rivers Greenway, Planet Score Records, the Record Exchange, White Box Catering, Iris and Lily's, Tiny Superheroes. You guys put in prizes. You might have snuck a prize in there. There was more prizes flowing in at the end that I definitely did not have the full list. And have to thank our sponsors, Peter Klopstein, Compass Realty. If you're looking to buy a house here in St. Louis, we got them linked up in our profile, sponsoring the event and this episode. Same for the Gramophone, great sandwiches in the Grove, And, of course, here in person with us, Sam from Team Jakey, one of our sponsors. Dude, thank you.
No, thank you. It's always a pleasure.
You made it possible. You kept the tickets affordable for people. You made it possible for us to book a band. And we just want to say extra special thank you. And with that, you wanted to give away a special something.
I would like to give, Team Jakey would like to give one of these limited edition. They are limited because I have very few left. Can we get it in the picture?
Oh, we're on the video. It's on the
Yeah,
screen.
They can see it. Be the Hero
Yeah.
and the Stigma. Little Team Jakey, superhero themed, with a little mostly superheroes podcast. Little tidbit in there.
You got Jakey, your logo,
Yeah.
and the Flash body. I mean,
Yeah.
this is your work. I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. I mean,
It
it's
is.
not my
I don't
day
know.
job.
It's really great.
It's so good.
It was a collaboration, but you did all the hard work.
That's my
I
favorite
didn't want
shirt
to put
that I
anything
own.
on you. I'm like, hey, I'd love to do a T-shirt. I think it would be cool to like.
Oh,
This was such
man.
a different
And
event
now
for
look.
Team Jakey. I'm like, I want to be in so hard right now.
And we rolled into Four Hands, and I wore this shirt, and I thought they're all going to be wearing it, and you guys were.
Yes, all of us.
All of us.
All of us.
Especially
Yours-
Scott.
Yeah, that's good.
Not just the Cardinals.
Yeah, we partnered with the Cardinals for the design.
We got a QR code on the screen. Both contests for the vinyl we mentioned earlier and the T-shirt at
I'm
mostlysuperheroes.com.
gonna give a T-shirt away.
Okay.
Just let me know the size.
That's it. We'll find
yeah.
out. We got a few set aside. No matter what your size is, we're gonna get you the shirt.
We'll get you the shirt. I don't.
You don't need to know about the internal talks of how many shirts we have left. All right, and then we had some people at the social that I wanted to shout out. Mike H. Oh man, love you,
yeah.
Mike. Venue was great. Event was nice. Good to catch up with people. Movie was poo, but not like adult poo, more like baby poo. Wasn't too bad. Mike H, appreciate that. And then Wyatt K, who showed up, said the Flash viewing event you guys put on was really great. Amazing raffles, nice buffet, good music, great atmosphere. The Mostly Superheroes team put a lot of work into putting this together, and it showed. Top it off with some great collaborations with multiple charities, and the atmosphere was electric. It was awesome being part of such a great turnout. Wyatt K meant so much that you came out in person and joined us, and he gave us a review of The Flash that we'll throw in later in the episode.
Nice.
Sweet.
Nice.
Anybody else that we want to shout out? Oh yeah, hey Dan, how about your dad?
Yes.
Yeah, he loved it. He thought it was so cool to get to, meet all of you guys. He's listened to some of the episodes and stuff. He was like, "Oh, do I start at episode 1?" And I'm like, "You can."
No.
Might miss
I'm
the
like,
event.
but-
Please
I'm
don't.
like, but you might want to jump ahead. I was like, let's start a little more recent, the last couple of years. But no, he had a great time. He loved the movie. My dad and I had a lot of fond memories growing up watching Batman and Batman Returns. When my mom would go out of town, we get a pizza. And so it was kind of like full circle for he and I to go together and see Michael Keaton up on screen again. There was nobody else I wanted to bring to this experience to share with than him. And he had a great time and really enjoyed it and was impressed of just kind of the whole production of everything we put together.
Hell yeah, man. That was awesome. It was great to meet your dad and see you both there, and the extra level of you flying in for the whole thing just made, I'm telling you, that meant the world to me personally, and it was great to see him there as
Happy
well.
to do it, man.
All right, and then we do have a very small snippet to share. We had our podcast booth. We promised you guys if you were there, you'd hear yourself on the podcast. We took about 3 minutes out. We'll keep it tight. I mean, that's not even just for you listeners. Like, it's like, yeah, I took out all the dead air and stuff. It's actually because I can't really use most of it. Because Scotty's kids and our friends' kids, like these kids,
They're crazy.
Oh, no.
They're
Oh,
insane.
no. Kids. No, I'm just kidding. It's not too bad. Maybe I'll share you the full raw footage with you.
Please do.
Here's 3 minutes
Patreon
though.
exclusive.
Here's a nice little preview of the podcast pop-up booth, which, man, this was so much fun. I want to do more of it.
Yeah.
Get a sense of what we kind of
Yeah.
did here, and we'll do more like probably focused areas where we'll do this in the future, and you can really be on a podcast on the road. Here's a few people right now, starting with Scotty Scoop.
What are we gonna see?
Flash.
Do you know anything about the Flash?
He's fast.
He's fast. That's the good thing to know. Scotty Scoop here. Daughter Tegan. Super excited for the show. We got Samba Bom playing right now.
It's really loud in here.
We're gonna eat some brunch. I don't know what's on the menu yet. We got some prizes to give away. Super exciting.
Little scoops.
Today we're going to be discussing the life of turtles
Yes.
and how they can breathe through their booty holes. So their air pump is down there, and
They have an air pump to their butthole.
If it was up there to their throat, it would be hard for them to breathe. So they chose the other side, the
So they
other
can
end.
just stick their butt
Yeah.
out of the water.
And then they just like.
That genuinely makes so much sense. I get it.
The little one's mine.
Steven Universe, I really recommend
Both of
it.
these are mine.
It's
These are
very
your daughter,
interesting.
Steven
It's a
Universe.
really good plot.
Steven
Lila's all about Steven
And it's
Universe.
overall just a show about lesbian rocks. Okay, it's amazing.
What was
So
the
let's
show?
be talking about the Flash.
Steven
That's what we're
Universe.
seeing today. Well, I haven't seen it yet. What do you know about the Flash? It's fast.
He's fast.
Okay.
I don't. No one likes that.
If anybody watching this has not watched Steven Universe, it is the
We're back
best
on.
show I've ever watched. It changed my life.
Yeah, Steven Universe isn't that good, man. It's definitely
Right
not.
back down. Right back down.
Steven Universe Future was a little rushed. It's okay. It ended pretty badly. I cried because he kind of just like up and left. He just got a therapist and left at the end. But Cartoon Network was like, okay, we're done. Get this done, or we're not gonna air you. So yeah.
She might have a Steven Universe podcast
I
coming
think
up.
so.
About
Yeah.
lesbian rocks.
Good to hear. Yeah.
Good to hear. This is my mom.
This is his mama, Logan's mama.
You should tell the podcast an embarrassing story about
Oh,
Logan.
Oh,
no.
yes.
Here we go.
Ask him how he pays a tow road when he's 14 years old. That's pretty comical scene. He threw the money at it, it bounced off, and it hit the lanes, and the tow guard was getting out of the car, and the tow guard said, "Get back in your car, get back in your car." So don't allow him to pay your tows.
I'll tell you guys more about
We're
that.
going in to see the Flash
I'm gonna
right
need
now.
more information.
It's Logan, Scotty, Andy.
Hello. We're doing it.
How'd that go? You got to get way closer than that. Prizes went well.
Yeah.
Sponsors went well.
Band was great.
Band was great. Samba Bomb. The kids were in here recording. Who knows what's waiting for us when I get home.
I can't wait to listen.
Yeah, it's gonna
All
be
that
crazy.
back.
All right,
We got
guys.
two hours of content.
He's
You
3
ready-
minutes.
you
Ready to see the Flash?
Yeah. dude.
You're ready to see it again,
Give me-
Andy.
Give me your cameo predictions right now.
No, don't do that.
No.
This guy's spoiler. This
Yeah.
guy's spoiler.
I'm not saying
Spoiler,
anything.
Andy.
Even
Yep.
the question is leading.
I'm asking you. I'm asking you.
Wolverine.
Yeah.
Wolverine. All right.
So he was
Very really.
he was
Green
wrong.
Lantern, probably. I thought Green Lantern was gonna be right. A Green Lantern. I don't know.
Really?
All right,
I
we'll see the
did.
movie. We'll talk after.
I guess
do
could have happened. Why not?
Go team, go.
Great job.
Go team, go.
Yeah, Screen and Social podcast booth. There you go. Yeah, the story.
That was awesome.
The story goes. My mom was talking about. So I grew up in a small town. I started driving when I was like 11, and like my one time drove my mom and a couple of my siblings to Chicago. I was 14, and
The whole way?
yeah, and I didn't. About an hour in, she was like, "Oh, you can drive. I'm tired," and I literally drove myself to middle school for about 3 months.
Wow.
I'll
To
t-
middle school.
I remember getting out, just being like, "No one knows this, and they can't."
There needs to be a whole podcast episode of
Yes.
just those stories.
And I threw money at the tow road, missed, and like got out. And the guy at the place was like, "Get in your car!
What are you doing?
Can't get out of the car on the highway." So thanks, Mom. That was my mom. That was what she wanted to bring to the booth.
Wow.
Screen and Social 2023. We'll do it again.
Yeah.
Please.
Deal?
Hey, I think there's one more person we got to recognize with all this. Is he hypes all of us all up all the time? And I think that's Logan. The amount of work and love and
Yeah.
effort that you
I'll
put
give-
into this, dude.
I'll give it up for me.
Are we done talking?
Big,
Is
big
this
shout
it?
out for you, bud.
Give it up.
This is it. This is it for the
You're right.
event. This is it for
No,
the event.
that-
Thank you, Dan.
Yeah, I was going to say, so polished up. We do have 10 years.
Yeah.
We've been doing this main fundraiser for Team Jakey. This event from a spectator/sponsor went so well, so polished.
Smooth.
But everything you do is polished. So it's like, it was so smooth. I know you said, "Oh, I got a laundry list of things that, could have been better." And
Right.
I'm like, you would not know that.
Yeah, it was nice
No.
hearing like in the moment he's telling me this, and I was like, "Gosh, that's so real." Like, you run an event, things.
Yeah.
Other people don't.
Yeah,
You know?
that's what's
Yeah.
nice to see from my perspective, because we put on fundraisers and I'm like, this sucked. Like,
They messed
no,
this
it was
up.
great. It is true. It was great. It was a great event for an inaugural Screen and Social.
10 out of
Excellent.
10.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it. I really do.
4
And-
out of
and
4, Andy.
4 out of 4.
4 out of 4. Yeah.
4.0, and the great segue, because I actually meant to do this when we did the T-shirt before we move into news and rumors. Could you go ahead and plug your big event coming up?
Guys, September 23rd, 2023. That's the date. It is our flagship fundraiser for Team Jakey, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, Provident Behavioral Health. Those are our main two foundations or organizations we fund. It is our cornhole tournament, September 23rd, and we put a lot of effort in this. 10-year anniversary. So we're going big. You know, we're trying to pull out all the stops. So please come out. You know, get a hold. You know, check out our Facebook.
Yep, it's linked up.
Check it out. That'll give you more information. You know, reach out to Logan, the Giggler, Scotty Scoop.
God.
Anybody.
It's one of the best run events I've ever attended.
The prizes, the games, the people. It's just
not just cornhole.
It's
you know
not.
What I mean, come at noon or 11:30 because
early.
We have a pre. You know, there's a pre-game. You know, we talk. We have a little video. We explain what we're doing. It is not, hey, thanks for showing up. This is what we do.
Right.
And you're off to the races. It's, you know, there's 10 to 20, 30 minutes of this is why we do it. Not, you know, here's what we do. It's why. So come out and see us on the 23rd of September. It really is. I mean, you got $25, $30. I can't remember exactly to spectate. You're all you can drink, all you can eat.
Where is it?
It is at in Florissant.
Okay.
Good question.
Florissant, Missouri.
Knights of Columbus off like New Florissant, like Washington.
Very nice. And they can find this at your Facebook page,
Yes.
the Team Jakey on Facebook,
Yep.
and it's always linked up everywhere on mostlysuperheroes.com.
Yep, and we'll have an event page for it. So come and check us out. It is the best raffles, I will say, in the state of Missouri. Pretty damn sure. I've been to some pretty cool events. We got the best. So come out and see us.
When do the teams sign up?
That'll be this month.
All right.
August.
It's time to start monitoring.
I'm ready.
It's leading up to the day now.
Yeah, we are almost a month out. So come on,
I'm practicing.
Good. Win it.
It's summer.
Very cool, guys. With that, let's move right into some news and rumors.
News and rumors.
Plenty of news. The strike is still happening. All right, that's coming from TheVerge.com. This is about a week old. There's actually been development since this. The writers essentially were joined by the actors. The actors were like, "We're in on this too. We're all going to strike until we get our money." They had the highlights at the time was actors say Hollywood studios want their AI replicas for free. You know, they want the rights to that, essentially. You can't make me somewhere else. You can't use my voice. AI is a huge part of this, the negotiation when it comes to writing, and now actors. The Director Guild of America at the time ratified a new labor contract. Writers are striking. AI rights on the table. Again, this is still about a week old. And then they actually met about, a few days ago or late last week and did not come to an agreement. The strike is still active. Again, this is coming from The Verge. You can read more about this. It's linked up in our episode. And the agreement has not come to it. And actually now I've heard visual effects artists are
unionizing.
Unionizing. I had to really go for it there. And they're part of it. So, and then there's some interesting stuff too. TheIntercept.com shared that there was actually a Netflix job they had posted in the middle of all this for an AI writing position for $900,000 a year. You know, like this is something that like, oh wow, you might think it's in the background, you might think it's public. This is like a public facing job. Like, okay, this is happening. AI is here. I'm seeing it embedded into everything I use, like just from a production standpoint, even like website companies now, or it's just like kind of thrown in front of you. AI is here. It is wild.
I want to say they used AI to make the opening sequence for Secret Invasion.
It was a convoluted thing where Marvel ended up speaking out and saying, yes, we did for a piece of it.
Okay.
People got upset, but like, I mean, I'm telling you, this is a hot topic right now, not to be confused with the Great Mall Store. This is a real tough topic. And I mean, it's like, man, I want these folks to get paid. I'm human. I'm real life. I am pro-human.
Yeah.
Period.
I think the Flash, the whole thing was AI.
It felt like it. And Dan P, why don't you talk more about what you know about it? He's been following it, and you can help us out with some titles that we know are getting delayed.
Yeah, no. The other thing I was gonna say is like AI is gonna be the biggest disruptor to like white collar jobs that we're gonna see in our lifetime, I think. And like I saw a trailer the other day for a Harry Potter AI movie that took all the original cast and had like everything it was like a sequel movie, but it was all AI generated with all the original characters. And I'm like, oh my God. Like for a second, I was like, oh, is this real? And I'm like, oh no, that's definitely not. It's definitely not. But yeah, it's been, just a constant, evolving thing that I think is going to impact a lot. Even video game folks are talking about using it for writing in games and development. So it'll be interesting to see, what happens.
Anybody here used AI?
ChatGPT one time.
I used it a little bit.
Yeah.
I use it to try it, like as a
dabbled.
trial, to use it to like write headlines and stuff on the website, which like immediately I was like, this is wrong.
This is not.
Yeah,
right.
that thing. It sounds convincing, but it doesn't have.
And it's also like you can feel like it has all the details, but it's missing that like
human touch.
It is. It's like it's
error.
and the details are not quite right either. They're like off in a way. The context is not quite right.
I used it for like a generic policy at work one time, just as like a base level. Like, give me a starting point. And I said, this is actually something I can work with in massage.
Yeah, and in healthcare, I mean, they're saying like it can diagnose breast cancer better than radiologists.
Wow.
And like now that's when I'm like, well, I don't want to mess around with healthcare. Like, let it do its thing. But unless it's like, take this pill, and I'm like, the robot said
what?
Dan, anybody know any delays that we should know about?
Basically,
everything.
Some of the big ones, like the Avatar movies, have all been pushed. Some of the Star Wars stuff they were working on has been pushed out. I think one of the big ones that's gonna really, it was a big bummer to me, was the Spider-Verse delay.
Yeah,
because the way that ended, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta wait all the way.
Right. At
another
least it's
year.
only like April or whatever of next year. But now it's pushed.
Yeah, but now it's delayed even further.
Animation,
and then
the
they're
Beyond
saying like Wonder Man, Venom 3, Thunderbolts, like everything that was in production. I know Deadpool got delayed. I was reading about that the other day. So it feels a lot like the last time that this happened back, I guess it was probably like 2008, 9, something around that.
Yep.
When
it's a good year.
I just remember how much like Lost got impacted by it back when that was like a big thing, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so terrible.
Yeah, and I don't mean to go off on a tangent, but man, Lost is so good.
It's so good.
It's so we just finished it 2 weeks ago. I mean, it was like my 11th time. It's getting better and sweet,
what
better and better and better.
Me
Not
as well.
Hulu.
Hulu, okay. Because
Hulu,
it was
ABC.
I think season 1 was on Netflix early on, and then it was gone.
Well, and now you talk about like it's kind of a segue, but like it's not. Like we're talking about like rewatching shows, and like now with the strike going on, this is a big point of the contention as well. And like you have actors like Sean Gunn speaking out about shows like Gilmore Girls, and how many streams it's had over the last 10 years on Netflix, and 0 essentially. And that's first of all, you don't have to have an opinion on this. Just so you know, if you're out there in the real world and you're just like, you hear people talking about, you don't have to. We are a podcast that talks about it. My opinion is pay these people, protect their jobs. People are unionizing is because they're in danger. And you might think you see some of these actors that are big names and with big paychecks. It might be right. It might be, but there's a certain level of people doing the work for the right amount of money is never wrong.
And those big people are 1%.
It's just a small part.
Not everybody is friends.
Not
getting
even
$1 million an episode.
And you need big people to step up and say things.
You had the stat up there, 87%. I don't want to mow anybody's lawn here, but you had it up there, 87%.
Of less than 26,000 on,
So that's a crazy stat. So people think, the George Clooney's, the Ben Affleck's, everybody in the Flash,
right?
Millionaires. It's pretty. It's $26,000 or less.
Seeing some of these people open their residual checks on
YouTube,
YouTube or TikTok, it's just sad. You're like,
pennies.
I know this guy from this show.
He'll be like,
he was in 50-something episodes, and they replay it on TBS and Disney and this and this. You see it on TV all the time, and he opens a check for $1.25.
Or sometimes $0.
Or sometimes 0. Oh, you owe us $50.
I wrote for King of the Hill for 10 years.
You guys live in the same country I live in, I think.
Right.
I mean, I think I've been watching The Wire lately. Am I watching The Wire?
I still have to. It's on my list.
There's a part in there where like it's young gangsters are talking. They're on the street. One of the guys says, he's like, man, just imagine being the guy that invented the McNugget. That guy, he's rolling in money. He's got so much money. And the other guy goes, that guy is still working in the same basement at the same McDonald's shop as everybody else.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, that's real. Yeah. You're not getting the payday. Give these guys the payday. The strike's happening. It's out there. You're aware of it. You're going to feel it with shows and stuff slowing down. We'll keep you posted as we learn more. Moving into some sad news, we lost a legend with a complicated, crazy past that, like, if you hear this name, you're like, wait a minute, what happened with that guy? What'd he do? Well, I know him, Mr. Pee Wee Herman, R.I.P. Paul Rubens, giving it up for a show that definitely was an inspiration to me as a kid.
Oh, for sure.
Let's go around the table, Scotty.
Like, I remember just sitting down and watch. Like, it was my life. You know, I would think I was right in that age range. You know, probably 7, 8 years old when it came out. I had the pull string doll that said all the stuff.
That thing is so creepy.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah, you were
oh
a fan.
My God,
Yeah.
You had that.
Yeah,
huge,
same. I had
huge
one.
fan.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure,
Pee-wee's
Big
Big
Top
Adventure.
Pee-wee,
Yep.
all of it.
Yep.
All right, Pee-wee. All right, Pee-wee.
R.I.P.
How long did you come in with
Too
that?
soon.
Yeah. Did you write that down?
It's too soon.
No,
soon.
I've had man.
That was just now?
I've been reeling over this for days, guys.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm not buying. Now I feel like you're making fun of the whole thing.
No, I'm
yeah.
not.
See,
love
I
Pee-wee.
watched a
No,
little
that
bit
was-
of Pee-wee.
It's
That
okay.
was-
You didn't
that
know.
was
Hey,
halfway
but
good.
also you didn't know him. It's okay.
I loved Pee Wee Herman as a kid. Like I remember watching the show
He
with
always
my
kinda
dad.
weirded me out.
My dad every week. I don't
Right.
know.
What I
why.
think
It
is
was
crazy
just hilarious.
is you look at this man. He has looked the same
Yeah.
for 40 years. He is
Just
70 years old.
Just
Yeah.
longer hair.
Yeah.
70.
Yeah.
And
I'm excited to go back and rewatch now.
He's in all
he
sorts
was
of
a-
stuff too.
Yeah,
go ahead,
he was
Dan.
a superhero in. Oh man, it
Mys-
was like a real early superhero
Mystery Men.
movie. Mystery
Oh,
Man.
yeah.
Yes.
He was in
is
that.
him. I didn't
Yep.
even
He was
realize
in
that was
that.
him.
He has got, if anybody.
He was in Blade.
Is he in Blade?
Is he?
Yes. He was like a vampire
What?
in
maybe.
Blade. I'm pretty
No,
sure.
no,
Go
no,
ahead.
no.
No, it was something else.
It was something else.
It
and
was.
it's what I'm about to mention.
Oh, good.
Go back. One of the greatest and funniest death scenes in
Here-
movie history.
Yes.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
That's-
the movie.
That's it. One
Oh,
of
the
Carrie's
original movie.
favorites.
Oh my God.
One of
It
Carrie's
is-
favorites.
He gets staked in the chest and dies for like 5 minutes.
He's like, oh,
it is hilarious. So good. Go find it
Oh,
somewhere.
God.
TikTok.
What
Just
did he
look
do
it up on TikTok.
Real quick, what
Go
did he do in Mystery Men? Was it the spoon or knife fork guy?
I can't
There was a
remember. I
silverware
love that
guy.
movie.
I think he was.
The silverware guy that threw
yes,
silverware?
The silverware guy.
I didn't
think
even,
that-
until
yeah.
tonight,
Yeah.
did not realize that was Pee Wee Herman.
He's in a lot of stuff, and apparently the guy had a lot of projects in the works, so there's gonna be stuff coming out.
Yeah, he was on the blacklist. He's been
for,
all
for
kinds
doing
of-
that thing in the theater.
That
Hey.
wow, nice. See,
Too
there it is.
soon.
No, not too soon. This is how the news phrased it.
There's a
You know,
TikTok trend
a
to
creative
go
and
do that.
complicated past.
Yeah, that's what I remember him as.
One thing.
I just didn't even know he was
Come
in Mystery
on.
Man, and that's what I remember. So that's
The guy
Yeah.
gets it out in one theater, and now he's
Hey,
labeled
I'm
for
not
life.
You know,
saying
Louis
it's-
C.K.
that
was
was like
Louis
30
C.K. was
years
pretty.
ago.
He was pretty demoralized whenever he saw the news
Yeah.
talking about that. He's like, "That's
Yeah.
all people are gonna remember."
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
That's pretty cool.
All right, moving into some other news, more uplifting, new things on the horizon. Amazon Prime Video has a season 2 of a show coming out that's animated that is amazing, and it's called
So good. Invincible.
Yes. Oh my gosh, the first episode's out, like a pre-episode.
It's just an aside. It's all
A gap.
about Adam Eve's
Hmm.
origin.
That's how they did it. The first season 2, it was like a warm-up episode to get you into the episode.
Yeah.
Into the season.
Like it's a full 40-minute episode.
Yes, it's always just like a side story that's
Yes.
going to be like an entry point for you in some way. I love this show.
Scott,
Cannot
oh my
wait.
God.
Scott,
it
are
is
they
so good.
are they doing weekly or are they dropping it at once?
No,
Do
it's
you
going to
know?
be. I think you're going to get like 2
2 parts?
episodes,
Okay.
and then it's going to be weekly.
I might wait because that was one when I'd get to the end of an episode, I'm just like, I want to
Yeah.
see the next one.
But see,
I
I
know,
don't even
exactly.
think they do like 10. I think it's more like 7 or 8 episodes.
yeah.
You guys know who's in this season?
I mean, it's like double the cast.
Oh my God, the cast list on this.
I don't
is-
remember.
Ridiculous.
Tim Robinson.
Yeah.
Tim Robinson.
Oh yeah, you love it.
You're happy about
you
that.
Love it.
I think you should leave for fans that are following along at home.
I love you, Tim.
All right, here's a controversial one that I'm gonna put on the table, and then we'll decide as a group what we'll do. Deadpool. I mean, we had a hot interview earlier in the episode. Chris Killian from comicbook.com. We talked about this a little bit, but we didn't talk about this specific thing. Spoilers all the time. These spoilers.
They just-
okay.
yeah, they don't stop.
Set
Just
photos. Set photos. Everyone loves the set photos. Deadpool 3. There are set photos of Deadpool and Logan, Wolverine. It's no secret now. Hugh Jackman's back as Logan. He's back as Wolverine, and he's in the original suit. There you
Classic
go. There's your
Wolverine
spoiler
suit.
out loud. I haven't even pulled it up on the screen yet because, like, do I show it?
It
Do you
looks,
even need
God
to?
damn, it looks so good.
I was mad when I saw
exactly.
it. I was mad when I saw
I
it.
stumbled upon it, which is the worst way to see
Oh,
it.
now it's
Spoilers.
everywhere.
It's
Even the
just a
Deadpool.
reality. It's a reality now.
The
It sucks.
Deadpool account on Instagram posted it.
It's just what we talked about earlier.
Here's
Exactly.
the problem.
Nothing
Batman.
will be hidden ever.
Someone got a photo, and they knew it was going to get released. So Ryan Reynolds was just like, put the photos out.
Let's just get behind
Put
it.
them out. Get in front of it.
Yeah.
Put them out there before somebody jumps
It's
in
just
and does
a
it.
bummer.
All right, there it is.
It looks good.
I showed it. It's up to you, viewer. You don't have to watch. You don't have to look at it. I've already seen it, not by choice.
Does it get me kind of hyped up?
It does,
It
but
does.
like also it's kind of like I kind of go like, "Meh, brr."
But
I'm like I want to
know
see it in the movie.
It's cool because it gets me hyped up, but I know
They're going to
you
touch
just
this
stole
up.
you
Put the
just
mask
stole
on.
something from me in
Put
the
the
movie.
mask
Oh,
on.
yeah. There's no
Dan,
mask.
Dan, what do you think?
You have a mask to look forward
No,
to.
I love it. I mean, the original X-Men cartoon is how I got into the X-Men, and this is cool.
You're pumped for X-Men '97.
I hope they show the brown suit.
Yep. Yeah,
Is there a
that'd be
brown
cool.
one?
Well, they
There's-
opened it up in the
And
first class.
Wolverine 3.
Was
I
it?
think it was.
All right.
Oh,
Well, speaking of threes.
Speaking of threes, we had some news.
Wait a second.
We had
Wait a second.
the edit.
Scratch this one.
Scratch this one. We heard that Wonder Woman 3 is happening in a breakout interview with Chris Killian from comicbook.com, who was on the show earlier.
Oh, it's been crazy with this gal stuff that just came out just a little bit ago. Yeah. So this gal news just came out. Variety just came out and said Wonder Woman 3 is not happening now.
Yep.
So there's just this.
Oh.
It's becoming this nasty he said she said kind of battle going on with it. So I have my own personal idea of what's happening, but we can get into that a little bit later.
Well, I was going to say, like, for like this profession, this is like a dream scenario for you because now you're in the mix of the storm.
Yeah. You know, I actually told one of my friends, I was like, this is what I imagine it feels like if like say I went camping and I started a fire because I just want to keep warm, but then I accidentally set the whole forest ablaze. Like that's essentially what's going on with me right now, where I'm like, oh no,
What have I done?
this is all happening because I asked a question about Wonder Woman.
Yeah, that's prison time.
We were sitting at before we came here, we were at a local brewery that we love. They've been featured on the podcast a lot lately. They're called Four Hands Brewing Company. And I'm sitting there, I'm waiting on these guys to show up, and I get the comic book email, and I see that Wonder Woman headline, and I was like, this is crazy timing right here. I'm about to talk to this guy, and he broke the news.
Yeah, it's definitely weird. So it's kind of bizarre that this is happening right now, but you know, it's part of it. I mean, I don't think Gal's lying. Like I don't think she's lying about it. I think that this conversation probably happened months ago, and I think that worst case scenario, I think maybe plans have changed, but nobody updated her on the plans. That's what I think is likely happening right now. I don't think she's strong-arming herself into like trying to get Wonder Woman 3 started, because that never works out well for anybody. I mean, you know, we just saw what happened with The Rock when he tried to strong-arm Warner Brothers. It doesn't work. So I don't think and I just think she's kind of a lovely person. I think that that's what she was told, and I think that she reiterated what she was told. And if she was lied to or plans have changed, I just think she's not aware of it yet.
That was where I was coming from with it. I was more thinking she was probably talking and she thought, oh yeah, me and James, we talked about, maybe they talked about Paradise Lost, and like maybe I'm part of that, and like it felt like a Wonder Woman project is coming sometime. Like apparently this was a miss here, and James Gunn has said, no, the only Wonder Woman project that we have happening is the one we told you guys about, Paradise Lost, the pre-Wonder Woman show on HBO that'll be about the Amazon. So right now, probably not happening, actually.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah,
when I don't see it.
We had a real source here today, and even he was
I really don't know.
I'm fine.
Everything just tells me they still don't know what their plan is.
No,
everything is telling me that
nothing instills confidence for me.
Yeah, it's just, Chris, when you get when you're consuming all this stuff for the show, do you get to sit and like enjoy it, or do you feel like your kind of life is boom, 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 move to the next thing for coverage? Because I follow a bunch of video game people, and I know they're bouncing from game to game to game, and they're like, I gotta keep, the next thing.
I have definitely found that I enjoy things more when I don't have to cover it, because I get to just be a fan rather than having to look at it with an analytical eye, because if I'm doing something for interviews, I obviously, like, I feel like I can watch it enough in a way that is like, I can tell if something's good or not, right? I'm aware that this is quality that I'm watching, but I still am watching with a more analytical eye, as far as like trying to pick up things. Oh, that would be a good thing to ask about, or this is a funny thing to bring back up, or what, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't get to sit and enjoy it with my brain turned off. And so there is definitely a difference. So I find lately that I am enjoying, if I get the time to watch something that I don't have to cover, that's a lot of fun. I really love that.
Cool.
But I do. That's not to say I don't enjoy some of the stuff, right?
Right.
I mean, I do enjoy it, but
what's something recently that was that crossover? Something that you were really excited about, and then you got to talk to a star from that franchise.
Twisted Metal is definitely one of those. Like, I really was surprised at how funny Twisted Metal was. Like, I really enjoyed that. The After Party was another one that was really great. I didn't know that I would like it as much as I did. And I don't want to say any names, because I try to be really, cool about stuff, but people think that, oh, you just get to talk to famous people and watch TV all day long. That must be like the best. It's not the best.
Right.
Let me tell you, there's nothing harder than talking to somebody when you watch something that you genuinely don't like. Like, that is so tough. Because you don't want to be like a jerk about it, right? Because that's one thing I've learned in this business, is that, like, a lot of people work on things. And so I try to really own it as like, it wasn't for me, but I can see how other people might like it or whatever. But man, is that tough. It's really tough to like talk to somebody like face to face when like deep down you hated the thing that they're in.
How long have you been with comic book now? What's that journey been like? And you do stand up too. We know you're down in Nashville. We were going to ask you about some folks down there, but what's your career like at today, and where's it headed?
Well, as far as where it's headed, I don't know. I kind of just fly by the seat of my pants. I always have. I started doing stand up in 2009, and I did stand up as my sole occupation for like 7 years, basically, until I got hired on at Comic Book. And long story short, I had an agent who was like, there's this, company that, they're looking for after show hosts, kind of in the same way that the Talking Dead,
right,
was for Walking Dead. They were kind of looking for that for like Gotham at the time and The Flash. And they wanted like to do these like online after shows where we could like talk about stuff. Funny enough, that never really materialized, but I did an audition with them, and I ended up getting the role of the host, and then it kind of broke out into this like news thing that we were doing, and that sort of has just kind of like bled into like doing interviews. And I don't know, man, I have no idea where I'm going next. It's all crazy. I don't really plan things that way. I just have this unwielding faith that things are going to work out, and they just keep working out. So that's how I live my life.
Good for you. That's definitely inspirational, to people in this room and other places as well, like just doing what feels right, going with the moment.
I think you just have to be, just follow your passions. I mean, at the end of the day, I think that and don't take no for an answer. Like, that's consistency plays a big part in that. But yeah, I really think a positive outlook is just kind of the name of the game for me, at least. I can't really speak to anybody else's journey, but for me, I don't know. I just always have been like, it'll work out, and it does. So that's it.
I'm going to give a spoiler alert right now for an MCU show. We're going to do a quick rating, 2 sentences about what you thought about the show, and we're going to move on. There's 4 things about the show. I'll breeze through them quickly after we do this. Spoiler alert for Secret Invasion in the MCU. You got it. There it is. Okay, the show is out. 6 episodes, Disney Plus. This was the first thing that came out simultaneously, but like right next to or right after Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It's a 6-part series. Samuel L. Jackson, Nick Fury, taking on Skrulls, a lot of callbacks to Skrulls and things you learned in Miss Marvel. Talos is back. You got Khaleesi in this show, Amelia Clark.
Yep.
Khaleesi.
Gaia.
Who?
Gaia?
Got it.
Gaia.
Who's Gaia?
That's her.
That's her name.
That's her name in the show. Gaia.
She's
Thank you.
Plays Talos' daughter.
He loved it.
Spoiler, I already said it. The Skrulls are infiltrating. You promised us a home. You're not giving us a home. Nick Fury's going to go against the mold. Who's a Skrull? Who's not a Skrull?
I know who is.
Go ahead.
Rhodey.
James
Duh.
Rhodes.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Piece of
Comicbook.com. The director confirms the timeline when Rhodey, War Machine, was a Skrull. They revealed this in the show at the end when they, we're not going to get.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Mm-mm.
When we talk about this show and it's at the end, it's like, okay, he's a Skrull. They pull him out of a room. He's in a gown, and the director confirmed in this interview with our article by Brandon Davis that it was, around the Captain America Civil War timing, like
when he
before Infinity War, before Endgame. Like during Civil War. Like this is just a weird twist of like, and you can also tell like in the interview, the director also said things like, it's fun for the fans to just think about, was he a Skrull then or a Skrull not? So it just feels like one of those weird things.
Well, it's not fun anymore because
I mean,
now
I
you know.
I knew something.
You just told us.
You told us when it was.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
What'd you think, Dan?
I knew something was fishy, in Iron Man 2. I was like, wait a minute, this guy does not look quite right.
Does not look the same.
Yeah. I was like, wait a minute, something's a little off here.
Terrence Howard.
I can't believe they just tried to squeak that past us.
Yeah.
Next
We
time.
know when he changed.
Next time, baby.
That's good. I wonder
Nope.
That would have been funny if they would have got Terrence Howard to come.
Yeah. That would have. I would have loved if he was like
How
in
did
the.
we fall for this?
That's what they should have done.
Oh my god.
My chair just fell apart. I got so excited. That's what they should have done. They should have put Terrence Howard in the thing. And they were like, he's been in here since Iron Man 1.
I told you guys that wasn't me. We don't look anything alike.
Yeah, this is messed up for a lot of reasons. Like if you think about Endgame, spoiler alert,
Let's not go there.
and the sad, Tony Stark,
Yeah.
guys, and he's just like holding his face, and he's like, my friend. And I'm like, so you're telling me that was just some scroll?
Not only that, but
See, I didn't know that part.
what I find interesting is this Rhodey doesn't know that happened.
Like
Right.
at all. He doesn't
But
know
how
nothing.
can
He-
that
yeah,
make
that's
Armor
right.
Wars? How can that make Armor Wars a good movie? Is my question.
It's like a comeback or
that's what
something.
that's what it's going to lead
doesn't
to.
know
The
that?
real Rhodey
The real
doesn't
Rhodey
know
doesn't know
that.
that.
They
happened.
switched.
Yeah.
Tony
they
Stark
switched
is dead.
Armor Wars from a show to a movie, and
Correct.
I've always thought, why is that the case?
Well,
And I'm hoping that it's just
we got a new guy. Who
that-
knows if that'll even happen?
yeah. I'm
At this point,
thinking that it might be because maybe RDJ gets in maybe some flashbacks. How could you have a Rhodey based show without
Okay.
Tony Stark? In
I'm
it?
with you.
All right. And then you got no end credit scene for this show.
no.
I know I sat through the entire thing.
Me too. I'm like pointing my remote. I'm like pointing my
Trying
remote.
to fast forward.
I'm like, it's gonna give me a skip to end credit.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, well, let me
No.
just scan Pat, and Carrie's just watching me, and I'm like, this is
I
the
did
moment where she watches me just scan through
I
credits.
did it for 4 minutes.
Yeah, too long.
I could have Googled that in
Uh,
5 seconds.
the
and said,
director-
are there?
The director answered this, but he answered it with a non-answer because he just quoted Kevin Feige in another interview where he said, sometimes there's end credit scenes, sometimes they're not, sometimes they're serious, sometimes they're Captain America at the end of a video telling you, you shouldn't have waited,
Right.
all the silly stuff. So, whatever. There's the quote, and then there's a lot about MCU. We talked about this with Chris Killian. Superhero fatigue, is it a thing? Is stuff too convoluted? A nice interview by Kofi Outlaw over at comicbook.com wrote why the MCU needs to get back to connected storytelling. Talks about the early days of Marvel, why it worked, and kind of how it's getting kind of mashed up now. They're trying to do too many things at once. Let's get back to basics. I'm not going to get into it right now, but it's linked up in our episode description. So go check that out. That's Secret Invasion. I want round table ratings. I'll go first. I'll give it a 3.0, actually 2.9. Andy.
I was going to go 3.0 even as well.
Scott.
Disappointing. I wanted so much more.
2.5. I was just really
Let down.
I was just too high on the show.
Mm-hmm. I thought you meant when you watched it.
I was to say that's usually a giggler.
Maybe
it's a
I
giggler
wasn't.
move.
Sam?
I would say like 2.7. It was a show that I literally was not going to watch until I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna be on this podcast.
Amazing
I should
podcast.
probably.
This amazing podcast.
It's amazing. That's what does it. I
I'm
will
glad.
go out of my way to watch a show I'm not interested in, and I'm like, this is not my vibe. Scrolls aren't my thing.
How many snores?
Ooh, I
many
slept through the
scenes?
first episode, so it gets at
One.
least like maybe the same snore, like 2.9 out of 4 on the snores.
Okay.
That's good.
Because I could have fell asleep through more
It's bad
episodes,
when
but I
they're
watched
there.
it during daylight. I had to.
Danny?
2.9. I just kept waiting for it to get good.
Yeah.
Like
Same.
trailers look
Yeah.
good, and I was like, when's it gonna turn? When's it gonna
Had-
turn? It just
Why is this
never
so
did.
why is this so boring?
A few
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
moments,
There
but
were-
that's it. That's
did-
it.
did
Just
they
a few
release-
good moments.
did they
over
release the
6
show-
episodes.
Did they release the show weekly?
Yes.
Yeah.
There was a couple
Yeah.
episodes where I go, well, I guess that's the finale.
Yeah.
It
And I-
really,
and I-
really
Is it the
ended in some
4
weird
cool
ways.
things happened.
And then the next week I was like, oh, I guess that wasn't the finale. And then I go, I guess this is the finale. And I'm like, every episode felt like a anticlimactic finale.
It's almost like, is that the finale or just another episode?
Yeah,
it
but
just-
the finale had all the Avengers powers, though.
oh,
Yeah, and
Groot.
why was I watching it going like, no?
I know. I feel so.
The
I felt
special
left-
effects were not great.
I
felt
still watched
very
all of it.
lukewarm about it too.
Don't worry, guys. Let's get into some great stuff in What You Watchin'.
Whatchu Watchin?
That's where we tell you what we're doing.
What
Coming
are
up
we doing?
from
What are we doing?
fan mail.
Wait, that's what we're doing?
Right now, what we're doing is reading some fan mail from Matthew W. in Tampa, Florida, who won our vinyl from Radiohead. We actually bought that from the band Radiohead, by the way. We love those guys. Man, what a group. Definitely recommend In Rainbows. Matthew W., hope you're enjoying it. He wrote in and said, for his What You Watchin', I'd say that Princess Mononoke by Studio Ghibli has really inspired my life. Princess Mononoke and many Studio Ghibli films have inspired me through their messages of environmentalism and have encouraged me to be more conscious in that aspect and to pursue a degree in environmental science. I give it a 3.8 out of a 4.0. Yeah,
Phenomenal.
all right.
Ghibli brings it, man.
I gave that a
lot of good.
4.0.
The review gets a 4.0. Well written. Scott, talk to us about Studio Ghibli. You know these guys?
Man, just anime legends.
Of course, right.
You know, lots of maybe a dozen or so movies.
Have you seen this one?
Maybe a long time ago.
I practiced.
been a long
I
time.
practiced saying the name for 2 days.
That doesn't surprise me.
Thank you very much.
I rewatched this about a year ago.
Oh!
I went through about 3 or 4 of them, and there's no such thing as a bad Studio Ghibli movie. Like
Yeah,
they're all good, and they're really unique. And I think what he talks about there like hits the nail on the head. They're pretty, open ended. Like was it Howl's Moving Castle's another really good
Yes.
one. But yeah, if you want to find them, Disney owns the rights, so they're all on Disney Plus. It's under one of their. I'm sorry, that's not Disney. HBO has them.
Oh wow, they got
So
that.
if you have Max, it's one of their like hubs, and they have all the Studio Ghibli stuff.
You just taught me something. That's amazing. Because
Yep.
like Carrie loves animated movies. I do too. And like I'll be surprised. She'll be like, "Let's watch this one," and we just watch it. It's like, oh
yeah,
hey,
they're
this is like, I don't know. This would be fun. It seems like.
Pick any of them for real.
yeah. The
Any
most
of 'em.
recent one is a 3D animation style, but all the rest are the old school kind of 2D hand drawn stuff.
Very
And
nice.
They're really cool.
Very nice. Princess Mononoke, 3.8 out of 4.0. Thank you, Matthew. Next up, the Giggler. Tell us about Superpowered, the DC story on Max. Also,
Oh man, did you watch this one too?
not yet.
Oh, you really should. Anyone?
Tell me why.
Honestly, because this is a documentary that's good for anyone. It's kind of like a chronological look at kind of the DC history, like film, comics, and everything, and kind of where they started, and where they've come to this day. And they kind of jump around a little bit chronologically, but it all kind of makes sense. Like, just how they portray each like era. I mean, there's so
It's
many
like 3
different-
parts,
there's so many
right?
different
3
like,
parts.
Yeah, there's so many different like things that changed the landscape of like the DC era, as we came through like the 70s, 80s, even till now. So it really goes kind of each episode is a great look at that. I really think I don't know, for everyone like us, or even if you just don't know anything about it, you could jump in and just immediately I'd be interested in anything from DC just like us. So I really like this a lot.
Very nice. Yeah, 3 parts. I saw interviews from like James Gunn in there. Definitely caught my eye whenever I saw it. Super powered, the DC story on Max Original. Thank you, Giggler. What do you rate it?
Oh, definitely 4.0.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Jesus, perfect.
Out of the gate with a.
All right, I'm up next. I'm reading some comics, an epic collection. That's what the book series is called. It's a series of comic book collections from around one character. So this time it's the Silver Surfer, and it's comics that they've taken about his big, like it's pretty much the best comics for the Silver Surfer in order by story. And they kind of focus on the big elements of the story. And they'll mix in even just like covers of comics like in between, and you can like kind of get it like, oh, that happened and then that happened, and they'll drop you into the next big series, and you'll read the entire comic strip and then get done and go into like, oh, four or 5 covers of like, oh, there was a Mantis, there was a Hulk. Oh, okay, now we're back to Silver Surfer and the Fantastic Four. Okay, it has been a real treat, and it actually, definitely check this out. Epic Collection, Silver Surfer, so much fun. I would give that, 3.9. The only thing I ding is like, it's not even the comic book's fault. I want more. I want to read more, which led me to getting Marvel Unlimited. So now I'm reading comics on my phone, and I got to hype up the app. Reading comics in my hand is kind of new to me, so I'm learning how to read comics. The Marvel Unlimited app takes that thinking away from you, and it just brings you into reading the comics in order, block by block by block, in a really nice. It almost feels like a movie. I mean,
Very cool. Very
Yeah.
cool.
Oh, yeah.
Is that part?
I need to get back
with like
into
a
it for sure.
comicsology kind of thing, or is that just its own app?
It's its own Marvel. It's like Marvel
Okay.
Unlimited. It's
I
its
really
own
love
thing.
it.
I paid like, it was like $60 a year, 70 or something.
I really like how like even on a small phone screen, like the way that you can kind of
Tap
like,
in
tab
and read it
through,
frame by frame.
it just goes.
You put it in like
just
read
kinda
mode.
moves around
It just moves for you.
perfectly.
Oh, that's sweet.
Oh wow!
All right,
It doesn't disorient
Oh.
you or like. Oh yeah, it's perfect.
Sweet.
Sam the Sleeper on Maxed.
Oh,
Righteous Gemstones. 3 seasons out. You seen them all?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
And I didn't know there was 3 seasons. I'm telling you what, if you've ever driven by one of those mega churches and you're wondering what the hell happens in there,
What's going on in there?
I think this is what's happening in there. I really do. And this is a show, before I get into it, this is a show my wife would say, this makes me feel uncomfortable just watching it. A little bit like Shameless. You're just seeing these grungy, like, I don't know, unethical characters.
Slimy.
It's slimy. Good word. It's just, it makes you feel uncomfortable watching it, but damn, does it make me think that's what Faith Church is. And sorry to all the Faith Church listeners out there. That's
It's all
a
right.
St. Louis mega
It's just a
church.
show.
But then
It's just a show, but it's just what I imagine mega churches being like. But so this is a show created by Danny McBride. It's got John Goodman, Adam Devine. So it's got a pretty good cast. It is about a family of televangelists.
Mega church
They
family.
run a mega church, and
It's about
they
their
get-
family.
It's about their family, but they get mixed up in,
yeah.
it's a dark comedy crime series.
Yeah,
is what they call it.
That's
which
what they
is
do. They mix in like a mystery crime component somehow.
Absolutely terrible people.
Terrible people. It is this family trying to run this mega church while running into unethical situations, nefarious situations, crime, illegal activities, and it's just at the core, it's just 3 kids trying to take over Eli, John Goodman's character, mega church.
It's like Succession, but
It's like Succession, but trash.
and yeah, right, a different
And
different universe.
They're all taking these donations, and they just live extravagant lifestyles.
I
Yeah.
really like this new season. For
this
sure.
new season.
I
It's
just
like
finished it the other day.
Each season is connected yet different. It's a pretty solid show, but it will make you feel uncomfortable, and then
I think it'll also give you the feels too. There's like moments that
Oh.
sneak up on me where I'm like, I'm like crying.
there's like decent character development in
Yeah,
this
Danny-
show.
Like it's like
Danny
family,
McBride
get
is-
character
Danny
development.
McBride is so good.
Oh, he's
Like seriously.
All right, what do you
a
rate?
pro.
What do you rate it?
3.5. I would 3.4.
Nice.
3.4.
Nice score, Danny
Nice.
P. You're up with a video game.
Yeah, so this is a big one for me. Final Fantasy 16. I'm a huge fan of this series. If you've never heard of it, it's like a long time running Japanese role playing game. One of the originals. The original Final Fantasy 1 came out on the Super Nintendo way back when. It's a little funky because in the States we got like Final Fantasy 1, 2, and 3, which 1 was 1, but then 2 was 4 in Japan and 3 was 6 in Japan. So all that to say, every one of them is different. That you don't have to have played any of them before. They're not connected in any way, so you can jump in at anyone that looks interesting to you. This one I would say is one of the most accessible ones because it's an action combat. In the past, it was more like a turn-based, which means like menus and you're selecting, kind of waiting to go back and forth between you and the enemy. This is very much like grab the controller, fight in real time. The graphics in this are insane. The story is very reminiscent of like Game of Thrones. There's a lot of kind of political intrigue and betrayal. It does get very Japanese where it goes from kind of a grounded political intrigue to all of a sudden there's a lot of God killing entities that are gonna destroy the world kind of stuff, and that's kind of how a lot of these games go. But overall, like a very dark tone, very somber. One of the best gay characters ever portrayed in a video game is in this. He's not the main character, but he's one of the side characters you meet on pretty early, and his like story and who he is like awesome. And I think anybody who likes high fantasy action gameplay, this is going to be a good one. And for me, this was one that I was really waiting for because the person that directed this was doing some really great work on other projects and came over to this and he delivered and the whole team did. So if you're looking for an action video game, especially as the writer's strike is going on and you're thinking what other alternatives are there, video games are great storytelling mechanisms. They're a little bit more of a time commitment. But there's a lot to enjoy here. So don't have the platinum yet.
Rate it.
Because I'm still working on it. I give this a 3.8.
Hell yeah. Very nice. Well done. Fair share. That's great. Final Fantasy fans, you're welcome for that. That was a great review. And Scotty's Scoop, a giant movie that came out. It's time. I don't know if you'll spoil it or not. Maybe we'll just do
I'm not gonna
spoil it.
No.
Okay, just give us that spoiler-free review then of
Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
The Dial of Destiny.
So yeah, Indy is back. Great cast of characters: Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Antonio Banderas, Karen Allen, John Rhys-Davies, Toby Jones, Boyd Holbrook, Mads Mikkelsen. Great cast. The year's 1969. Indy is kind of washed up. He's showing his age. All of a sudden, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who is the daughter...
These aren't spoilers?
These aren't. No. This is just basic plot.
Okay, people don't know nowadays.
Right.
So.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge plays the daughter of one of his former colleagues. They are looking for Archimedes' dial, which will show when you can travel back in time.
Oh, boy.
Mads Mikkelsen is a Nazi. He is looking for this dial to travel back in time and help Hitler win the war.
These seem like spoilers to me.
This is basic plot.
I would call this spoilers for me.
No, really?
I go in, I'm like, okay, so they're definitely going to time travel.
No. That's just what it does.
But if you hear the word time travel in a movie, you're time traveling.
Okay.
Because looking at that, I don't know they're time traveling.
All right, continue.
The movie might be about a dial of destiny.
No, it's all right. Continue. It's all that's subjective.
So most of the movie is about finding the dial.
Okay.
How they get it. The classic, whip cracking, riding around, the chase scenes of classic Indiana Jones stuff.
Did it feel like his last one, or does it feel like he's doing it again?
This is probably his last one.
Did you see it in the theater?
I did see it in the theater.
And who else saw it with you? Did you forget your kid's name?
I might have seen this alone. I think I went alone to see that.
This is just you in the theater.
It was just me.
All right, what do you rate it?
I'm going to give this like a 3.5.
Oh, okay.
The nostalgia was there. Definitely better than the Crystal Skull.
Oh, okay.
But not better than the original 3.
Great review. Great job. Great job with the actors' names. Very nice. Anybody else seen it?
No, I got turned off by the reviews. I shouldn't have looked. So I was like, I'll wait.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It's fun.
If you're but here's how I see this. I mean, if you're seeing Indiana Jones, you're seeing it. Like, you know what I mean? The Indiana Jones fans showed up.
To be fair, I didn't have a lot of problems with Crystal Skull.
You were fine.
It had some cheesy spots,
but it was Indiana Jones.
I love Indiana Jones.
Yeah, there's a thing about those movies. It had it.
The worst Indiana Jones movie for me is still Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
it's still good. It may not be as good as the rest.
Doesn't measure up.
But it's just like a Marvel movie. I'm going and I'm having a good time. Was it the best? Probably not. But
what film was this? How many is that?
This is 5.
Okay. I mean, this is he's been doing it forever.
Yeah. Oh, since 1981.
Indiana Jones, Dial of Destiny, still in theaters, maybe, but
Yeah,
probably
you can-
coming to digital soon.
You can probably still catch this, but you better hurry.
Yeah.
Giggler, tell us about a brand new film. It was in the coming up part of the episode at the end, but you've seen it yesterday, last night.
Yep. Ninja Turtles, baby.
The
Mutant
new
Mayhem.
one. Yeah, Mutant Mayhem.
So I checked out a new theater, B&B in West Olive. Enjoyed the experience. We did some hit up the arcade before. Had a nice, decent dinner at the bar. Had a decent cheeseburger, and the movie was honestly way better than I thought. It was hilarious. Honestly, they did a really good job of kind of like the Ninja Turtle movies that we grew up, like teenagers acted way differently then versus now. So this movie is they did a really good job of just kind of portraying that and kind of putting that into the, I don't know, just their interactions throughout the movie. My hero of the movie was Master Splinter, though. You
Very
guys
nice.
will love that. So
And Seth Rogen came back. He's made
spoiler-free
this.
review.
Yeah, that's
honestly,
a good.
Honestly, if you have any nostalgia towards the Turtles, you will enjoy this movie so much. It was awesome.
And if you're just a parent with kids, I mean, I'm sure this is family friendly. It's fun. Seth Rogen
Yeah.
did it. What do you rate it?
I went with a 3.5 out of 4.
Yeah, I can't wait to catch this one with the kids.
Yeah, say anybody else? Not yet. This is brand new.
No.
Yeah.
It was just
Not yet.
the
Cutting edge stuff over there.
Wow, this is
it
breaking.
was
This is
beautiful,
breaking
too.
news.
Like, it was just
Andy's
so-
like there.
He
It was
is. He's
beautiful.
always at the movies. He's
Exactly.
always texting. He's always texting like, you too, though. You
Yeah.
too. You're like doing
Yeah.
double features and
You
stuff.
guys are at the premiere.
I got the Alamo pass,
Yeah.
but this
You
one
guys
I,
are red
I
carpet.
honestly
I used to be, but not
I
anymore.
paid extra to go to like another theater because we wanted to try out this new place to see what it was like. And
Well, you have a great job. I mean, you guys are loaded.
This is
I've
not
got a
true at all.
B&B up the road.
They're
from
not
me.
paying
I
for
need to
those
check 'em
plumbing
out. I
issues.
never
They're
go.
just
No,
saving it for
honestly,
the movies.
That's why.
My biggest entertainment expense is movies and cinema, so I can go in.
That Excel sheet looks sweet.
Yeah.
All right.
Movies.
All right, guys. We talked about this one in our review with Chris Killian from Comic Book. You can hear what he thought right now about Twisted Metal. I'll bring that into the episode as well. Twisted Metal, Peacock original, Anthony Mackie. I forget her name. She's in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. She plays Rosa.
Stephanie Beatrice.
Yeah.
Yes, thank
Yeah,
you.
that's right.
Will Arnett voicing the clown. Twisted Metal, if you played the video game on PlayStation, this is the game brought to life. A dystopian future with crazy cars. Feels like Mad Max, a witty show with more character development than you're probably expecting, and it actually had a lot of funny parts, and Carrie and I had a really fun time and finished it in 2 days. I'd give it a 3.8. Had a really good time. Anybody else?
I tried to start it the other day, and I was very distracted, so I only got like 10 minutes in, and I turned it off because I want to watch it.
I think
Yeah.
I think if you're a video game fan, you'll enjoy it, but if you're not, you'll still have a good time. Anybody else?
I've seen 3. They're good. Very good. I can't wait to get back into it.
Nice.
I was planning to watch it, then Peacock raised their rates, and I was like, I'm hopping off. And then this came
Yeah.
out like a month later. I'm like, God dang it.
Well, with inflation and the strike,
Well,
I mean,
So I'm gonna let it come out, then I'll probably join Peacock for a month because there just wasn't enough to keep me on there after a couple of months. I watched everything I wanted to see on there, so
yeah,
too many streaming services.
I've
We need to
watched one
consolidate.
show on Peacock and keep paying for it.
The Office,
The Office.
Let's say The Office over and over.
No, what was it on
Parks and
Peacock?
Rec.
No, the Western. Not a Western.
Yellowstone.
Yellowstone. I
Yeah.
always want to say Westworld.
What do
That's
you
why
rate
I got it.
Yellowstone?
Yellowstone?
Yeah.
Season 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Like-
It's like
Yeah.
Mid 3s.
Okay,
It goes pretty
Ugh.
downhill quick.
and then it
becomes
goes bad.
pretty soap opera-y.
Oh gosh.
It's,
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, this is good.
Yeah, this is good. The Boys season 4 coming up, right?
Bring
And
it on.
say it again.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. Cannot
wait.
wait. Oh my god.
Cannot.
The best television, the best superhero show out there.
and the
Screw
spin-off.
Marvels and DC.
Huh?
We got the spinoff coming as well.
And the spinoff. Yeah, for real. I mean, really,
This
this
is-
is top tier. This is like prestige television. It's like every episode's a movie, gritty. It's good. The Boys is coming up season 4, and then the spinoff Gen V.
Gen V, yes.
It's like the college years type thing. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be like a new class of students. And then there's a book. We have Soups Ain't Always Heroes by Lynn S. Zubernis. Just getting familiar with Lynn myself, but the guy is into all sorts of fandoms, writes books, and does deep dives on all sorts of pop culture, including Supernatural. He's a huge Supernatural stan. And if you are familiar with Supernatural and The Boys, Eric Kripke is one of the people that works on the show, works on this show. A lot of similar ties, a lot of actors that kind of bounce from
sure,
Supernatural into The Boys, and he has the inside scoop. They reached out, said, we have this book going around. Check it out if you want. You know, you kind of hear about these things, I'm starting to realize. And I checked it out. I was like, we'll see. It's good. This guy has the inside scoop. Talks to the creators. He talks to almost every actor in the show, like big names coming in, talking about it. Talks about the deep parallels between The Boys and the real world media. You know, the misogynistic things that are in the show, the traits they show from men and how businesses are run, and kind of gets into the deeper layer of like, what do I feel when I watch this show? Because if you're like me, like there's more to it than just like X-ray vision and like heat vision, you know? So Soup saying always heroes. We might be doing some kind of feature. We'll definitely be featuring The Boys in the future. And then that brings us to the character of the week. Billy Butcher. This guy, oh my God, the best. Carl Urban, The Boys. I mean, this is a comic. You see the picture of him from the comics. The Boys is a comic run. You can see it. He's the best character on it. You're cheering for him. You hate him. He's the best. He's the worst. It's just like every side of a character. My favorite from The Boys. I don't know if anybody has any thoughts on Billy Butcher, but this is also the time to shout out your favorite character from The Boys, if you have one.
Definitely Billy Butcher. If I would have known this was coming up, I'd have sent in my Halloween photo from a couple years ago.
Oh, duh.
Oh, yeah.
All right, send it to me. I'll try to get it in post.
For sure.
All right, anybody else?
Homelander.
The Boys?
It's
Homelander.
I've never, in any show or movie ever, there's never been a character that I've just so uncomfortable when he's on the screen at all times.
Yes.
It's just the way that they've built that up over the years is ridiculous.
He's so weird, but so fascinating. It's Homelander.
Dan?
I like Jack Quaid's character a lot.
Nice.
I think what he goes through and experience, like, I mean, he is us in a lot of ways in the show. Like, you know, he's just experiencing all of this stuff and it's impacting him as just a normal person. And I think he has an awesome performance in how he reacts to some of the stuff, especially the first season. Yeah, every time he's on screen, it gets interesting. So we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, Butcher's great.
Hell yeah, The Boys.
I love Carl Urban.
Carl Urban, he's great. Yeah, he's
so
awesome.
good.
The Boys coming up. Can't wait. Check it out. And with that, we're going to take a quick break.
No break.
Nope. Ooh. We're just going to talk about The Boys? Because I could talk a whole...
We're a couple of months removed.
Okay, this is a good time.
I did buy this for you.
What is this?
Like 2 months ago for birthday.
I act like I didn't see it when he walked in.
Right.
What's this?
What?
That wrapping paper is pretty dope.
Everyone's favorite wrapping paper.
It's back from Christmas if you really follow the show.
I still have plenty.
I've seen
What's
that
this?
before.
This is birthday?
This is birthday.
Oh, thank you.
And just, Logan appreciation.
Well, Logan appreciation, I do everything.
It's
so
a
it's
plaque.
It's probably
best radio voice.
Yeah,
Best
he
radio
does.
voice.
do not drop. Fragile. And there's a lot of tape.
Oh my
Look at this.
God.
Look at this fragile do not drop. All right.
Be careful.
Oh boy, I already have a feeling.
I saw this a couple of months ago, scrolling the internet, and I was like, oh, this is perfect. I've got to get this.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I know about this concert.
Yes.
I know about this concert. I really do. I was like, I got to check this out. It's something I haven't actually seen or listened to. We have to go back. The Lost concert.
Yes.
How did you know? Just because I love Lost.
Well, I also love Lost.
But you don't understand.
You love the vinyls.
I love vinyls, and also Michael Giacchino.
Yes.
I literally, whenever after the show, I watched it for the first time. I literally on Apple Music on iTunes was buying at the time my music like one song at a time or album at a time. And yeah, right. I still do too. I mean, nowadays I do it even more so with vinyls and stuff.
Yeah.
And I would listen to the soundtrack from Lost over and over and over. And like I know the parts of the songs that mean different things.
Yes.
This is our walking music. It's time to trek across the aisle. And, oh, this is when the bad guy's up to something. Man, this is it. I'm gonna listen to this. Carrie and I listen to it. Scotty, thank you.
Yes.
Wow.
It's like when I saw it and it was like, oh, sample this and listen. And I was listening and I was like, oh my God, this is when Jack rounded everybody up.
Oh man. Ji Young, I mean, when there's a song called Landing Party when the Oceanic Six come back, and like, man, the chills like already coming right now. Thank you very much. No other gifts from anybody.
I can't believe it.
Huh.
My birthday was like
when
3 weeks ago. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, that was in between ours. Oh,
mine was like 6 weeks.
Well, you got to be on the podcast. what is your niche? Like, what are you into? You into DC Comics? You into MCU? Are you into like other stuff that's not even superhero fandom? You know, not nerdverse. Just what are you watching whenever you're not working and you're like, especially nowadays, as someone that sees a lot, you probably feel like, man, extra important to pick something that I actually want to enjoy myself right now.
Yeah, you know, I'll tell you the weirdest kink that I have is, maybe that's the wrong word for it, but
roll with it. Roll with it.
What do I look like, Quentin Tarantino? No, I have this thing where I've been a fan of pro wrestling for my whole life, and I love playing pro wrestling games. And for some reason, I make all these like characters. It's the nerdiest thing that I do, but I have a whole like federation of made up characters that I've created. I design them from the ground up. I upload them, but I don't share anything about it on social media. You know, my brother's always been like, you know, you're really funny when you play these matches and you do commentary for them. You should do like a Twitch channel and stuff. And I'm like, I can't. I want to do I want something that's like just for me, right? You know, like something that I think I've grown a little cynical over like putting there's something to be said about following your passions, but at the end of the day, it does become work, right? When you like have to talk about you know, DC or Marvel, or you have to do this or you have to do that. It becomes work. And so I do like keeping some things for myself, and that's one of them. That's probably the biggest one.
Well, now that you've shared it, though, you're gonna have some kind of Patreon channel or something, because Andy over here is definitely chomping at the bit to hear about these characters.
I need to know your favorite part of SummerSlam, please.
I have so many. They are ridiculous. And what's crazy enough, I don't know. Do you guys play 2K23? Like, anybody in there played WWE?
It's been a couple years for me. I stopped at about 2K21.
Yeah, some of my characters, they get like thousands of downloads. It's really weird, but I don't think anybody knows that I'm the guy that like is making.
Oh, that's great. All right, now should we take a break?
Let's do it.
Let's take one quick break and come back and talk about The Flash. We'll be right back.
The meat.
Welcome back from the break. This is Mostly Superheroes here in the studio, St. Louis, Missouri, talking all sorts of nonsense with my friends here with the Giggler, Scotty Scoop, Sammy the Sleeper, Danny Patron, and little pop-ins from our awesome interview that you can find in our Patron exclusive with Chris Killian from comicbook.com, talking exclusively about that interview with Gal Gadot, announcing the movie. Is it happening? Is Wonder Woman 3 here or not? He gives some more insight because he's the one that broke the news. So happy to have him in the show. You've heard him throughout it, and you can hear the full uncut episode again if you subscribe to our Patreon account. Many ways to do that at mostlysuperheroes.com/support. You can do Patreon, you can do Apple podcast subscription where you pay for that exclusive content in your app, and you can even do that at our website. You can sign into our website. We have a members only area. Go check it out. And today we're in the DC universe. So much happening in DC town, movie-wise, video game-wise, TV show. James Gunn, Peter Safran, changing things up, mixing it up, and we're still in those legacy movies before any of their new stuff comes out. One of those movies has been in the mix for a very, very long time, and today's the day to talk about it. We're going to talk about the budget, the box office, the story, what we thought about it, and we're trying out a new format with 3 big parts to speed up that recap and mix it in with our reviews, and we'll feature some folks from our Mostly Superheroes Screen and Social. That's right, we're talking about 2023, very delayed, The Flash. If you're here, we'll go ahead and throw out that spoiler alert because we're going to talk about it. And we saw this thing at the Alamo Drafthouse. We always like to start off with our theater experience, and it was at the Mostly Superheroes Screen and Social, the extended movie experience. You can see photos from the big day, and we saw this in our private theater, and we had a really great time. And we'll see you at the next one. We'll let you know when that's happening. The Flash, you want to know pretty much how it did first, right? What's that box office? How's it looking out there? And what's some of the nuts and bolts of the movie? It's PG-13. We have the director of the film, Andy Muschietti, coming in, produced by Barbara Muschietti. Michael Disco, written by Christina Hodson. This was released just on June 16th, 2023. Came out on, we have the box office actually. Gross at the time, this was about a week ago, $107 million. That's the worldwide. This is after being out for at least 5 weeks.
That can't be worldwide. It says USA.
All right, let's just look it up because
that seems low.
All right, here's some breaking news for you.
Pretty America,
the Flash box office today, which is August 10th, $268 million worldwide.
That's around.
Do you still disagree? Because now it's August 10th. This was a week ago. 2 weeks ago.
I mean, it's still terrible.
This is almost a month ago.
It's not doing great box office wise. It kind of would call this a flop.
This is
You're
a
not
flop.
getting
very,
anymore.
very bad.
Every
what's a great box office for like a top Marvel movie in the U.S.? Like usually like 300 mil.
At this
when,
time,
when they get out,
first week,
it's gone. Like it's on
pretty quick.
digital now.
It's usually pretty quick.
Yeah.
So I mean, I feel like
800 mil for sure.
a mid MCU movie is like 600 million.
Yeah.
Well,
Excess.
Warner Brothers is reporting a $200 million loss on the film.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yikes.
For sure.
Okay.
They put a lot of effort into this, and it went nowhere.
So obviously, this is Warner Brothers. They're distributing it, and like I said, this is before the James Gunn rewrite stuff. This is a legacy film. However, delayed for years. A couple years, right?
Yeah, I feel like two.
At least two.
For multiple reasons. I can't.
Multiple
I
reasons.
know one of them.
One of the big
COVID,
ones.
yeah.
Yep. And then obviously tons of news around this film. Ezra Miller in and out for assault and this and that, and
not kidnapping, but disappearing with.
I don't even want to speak to it because
I can't tell you what
strange behavior.
All I ever saw was that one video of him like shoving a fan, and I was like, this is so out of context. I have no idea what I'm even looking at.
Yeah.
Either way, speaking of the cast, Ezra Miller playing Barry Allen the Flash. Spoiler alert for the film. We already gave that. Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne. Sasha Calle as Kara Zor-El. Michael Shannon coming back as General Zod. Rod Livingston as Henry Allen, a different dad. And Maribel Verdú as Nora Allen, playing a big part in the Flash movie. And we gave the spoiler alert. I wanted to read the synopsis from Rotten Tomatoes. All the info we are getting today is from Rotten Tomatoes, including the photos that you're seeing. It's linked up in our episode description. You can go find that. Worlds collide in The Flash when Barry uses his superpowers to travel back in time in order to change the events of the past. But when his attempt to save his family inadvertently alters the future, Barry becomes trapped in a reality in which General Zod is returned, threatening annihilation, and there are no superheroes to turn to. That is, unless Barry can coax a very different Batman out of retirement and rescue an imprisoned Kryptonian, albeit not the one he's looking for, ultimately to save the world that he is in and return to the future as he knows it. Barry's only hope is to race for his life, but will making the ultimate sacrifice be enough to reset the universe? And was this description written by AI? Because it felt like it. And we're doing this in parts, part one. Guys, are you ready to talk about this movie?
Let's do it.
I like your pose. I love it. Get your fingers ready.
That's it.
My chair was born ready.
All right, I got my notes here. Story time, part 1 out of 3. We're doing this thing in 3 big chunks. This is a movie that drops you right in. That's how I felt. I'm a DC fan. I know The Flash. Where do I know The Flash from? Ooh, the Justice League movie. Ooh, the Justice League movie that they did again. Ooh, Suicide Squad. There was like a little tease in there.
A little Batman verse.
Ooh, Batman vs. Superman. A little something in there. Ooh, we're finding him. He's in the grocery store. Ooh, who's that? Ooh, a little pop into the Flash TV show during Crisis on Infinite Earths. This guy has been all over, and here we are. The movie is here, and you have to know all this coming in. There's no setup. It's the Flash in his prime. He's essentially working with the Justice League. Scotty, talk to me. We see the suit right off the bat. He's getting his coffee. He throws it on. It's this one we're looking at the screen, and he's on the phone with Alfred. Talk to me.
Alfred comes out. He's like, hey, we need your help. And he was like, I got to get to work. I'm late. Why don't you call Superman? Oh yeah, well I thought of him first, but he's busy.
And they show him, and he's like on the TV, like solving a volcano.
Yeah, he's like attacking a volcano
with his heat vision. A volcano with heat vision.
Yeah,
but you know what'll help? More lava.
Fire with fire. I mean, yeah.
All All right, but can't get him. Can't get him.
It's, he's busy. Well, what about Diana? You can't call Wonder Woman? I actually thought of her as well, and she is also busy.
Right. And
So-
it's like, okay, I'll go help.
Yeah.
And like, can I get any help? And it's actually, we need you to head to Gotham. Where's
Yeah.
Barry living? Where's he? What do you guys remember?
Central City.
It's Central.
Central City. Why
Yes.
did I not think it was? Oh, I'm thinking of Spider-Man.
But what
Different
state?
city.
What state? It was in the Midwest.
I think it's supposed to be the
Yeah,
Midwest.
it's the
I agree.
Midwest.
Well,
I agree, Midwest.
based on the run that happened right after this. And I mean, this was cool until he was really running.
Iowa. I'm thinking Iowa.
Central City,
Central
Iowa.
City.
And he
Their
gets
claim to fame.
he gets to the he gets to the thing, right? It's a building. It's collapsing from the ground. I'm at the ground. I'm in Gotham now.
The
And
Mary Wayne
complains.
Institute.
it's the what?
Mary Wayne Institute.
Is it really?
The wing of the hospitals, the Mary Wing Institute.
He complains that he's
Whoa.
always having to clean up after Bruce.
He says, "I'm the janitor of the Justice League, and
Yes.
I've come to accept that."
Yeah.
But why is it always a bat mess? Oh, why is it always a bat mess?
Yeah.
Like Bruce caused this Batman. And like, hey, by the way, where are you, Bruce? Enter Batfleck.
Yeah, here he comes.
Out of the bat plane on a bat
Bike.
motorcycle. And bad CGI even on his face while he's like on the phone. Like he just looks weird, but he's still just like, Barry, I'm coming. And
Yeah.
I'm just
Save the people, Barry.
save the people, Barry. Okay, fine. I'm the janitor of the Justice League. A slow motion baby saving.
Who's
Cool.
Batman? He's
It was a Falcone's
I love-
son or
the
something. yeah.
Falcons.
I
Yes.
loved his suit though.
Which
Suit was great,
That was awesome.
but it was funny because he goes, "What are we doing here?" And he's like, "Falcone son wannabe got too
Yeah.
big for his britches and stole a satellite link, and
Yeah,
the bank is now exploding, and I'm part of the task force that blew up the." And I'm like, "What are we saying?"
I think if you're watching the movie real life, like real time, you're like, what is happening?
It was
There's
like
too
that.
many events.
Too many.
Two events that you're like, I don't even know what's going on.
You've dropped us into the middle of a Batman movie that's like
Yeah.
3/4 of the way through.
Exactly. And I only
Batman.
picked up on it like the second time I was researching it and looking. I was like, oh, those are the Falcons. Okay.
Guys, I got some bad news. We failed. Central City, it's in Missouri.
Oh my God! Thank God. I was looking. I thought you were gonna say we weren't streaming or something. I was like, "What?
We need to rewind.
Where is it?
It's in Missouri.
Are you kidding me?"
No,
I thought. Oh, Centralia.
it's Central City.
Oh.
Don't believe it.
All right, dude, this is embarrassing.
Yeah,
I mean,
for
but
real.
but they did a bad job. No arch
You're for real, yeah.
No,
He
ours
should
is
have ran
Central
right
City.
through it.
on the way. He did a run on the way. They show him across run
Yeah.
water. Okay, so what else? He saves the babies,
Save the babies, puts one in a microwave.
saves the
That
dog.
still beeped when, so that means that the microwave was on.
He's eating.
And why are we talking about this scene
While
so
it
long?
happens-
Because it's 10 minutes in slow motion.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just ridiculous.
But you get thrown right in.
You get thrown right in. And all right, let's catch you up with some other stuff that, like, if you're not a fan, you're struggling. Okay, if you're not a fan of this stuff, you're struggling. Like, I'll just tell you that. Like, people that don't know this stuff were like, "What, Daddy? He's still in jail for what? Still killing mom. Still what? I want to save my dad from jail, so I got a job as a forensic analyst at a crime unit,
Crime lab.
and this is where he works.
Yeah.
And his dad recast. They recast him. I thought the last guy was great. I don't know
Oh
what.
yeah, he's really
He's
good.
from the morning show.
Scheduling
He is.
conflicts.
And
I
this
believe.
guy's from all sorts of stuff.
Bunch of stuff.
Band of Brothers.
Office Space.
Office Space.
Office Space and
Yeah.
Band of Brothers.
Yep.
All right, so
Ron Livingston.
Ron Livingston,
Ron
he's great.
Livingston.
So Daddy's still in jail, working evidence. We-
Wonder Woman showed up.
Oh, we got a Wonder Woman cameo.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of like
Yeah,
Wonder
just
Woman,
like,
Batman, the Flash for a minute.
you know,
We're the Justice League.
Yeah.
Batman's got the guy. Oh, if that poison falls into the
Yeah.
river, everyone's gonna
He's
die
got-
like instantly.
He's chasing these Batman is on a totally different mission than the Flash.
And you're just
The
here.
Flash
To,
is
he's
safe.
just
Flash
here to
is
help.
If
cleaning
you're watching
up.
the film, the Flash is saving the hospital. Batman is on a completely different mission of stopping the Falcons, stealing chemicals, and he is just keeping them, trying to catch them, but like you said, trying to keep those
Yeah.
chemicals from falling into whatever, the road, the river.
They get them. They pull them. They catch all the bad guys.
Yep.
And
Who shows up?
because Wonder Woman shows up,
Yeah, Wonder
she
Woman
helps.
shows up.
And then the lasso of truth is like around
Batman,
and he's like,
he's telling the truth.
I could never tell someone thank you. I don't. My ego's too big for that, and like I have masculinity problems. Or, I don't even know what he said.
But the Flash is also holding the rope.
right.
and what does he say?
Something about.
I know about sex.
I know what sex is,
I
and I
haven't
know it's
had
a
it.
thing.
Yeah,
but I haven't experienced it.
Basically saying you haven't been virgin.
Yeah, and this is DC's way of trying humor.
Yeah.
Which,
how'd you guys feel? You know what part I hated a lot? I hated, not to say I'm not just going to trash this movie. I had a fun time. But, like, there was this part that I hated when Alfred goes, Master, will you be making it home for breakfast? And Batman takes his batarang and goes, and it, like, hits the guy right behind him that, like, somehow got away.
Yeah.
And, like, it hits him in the head, and he goes,
makes him one.
I think I will.
I just crippled this guy. He's got brain damage.
Dan?
I could go for
so
some
I get
eggs.
what they're trying to do here.
Tell
I just
me.
don't think they execute it well. So I think they're trying to kind of call out what they've made the Flash, a side character. Like the Batman stuff is like, this is who you want to see,
Right.
and this is who we've shown you in all the other movies. And this character has been on the side. Well, here's what he does while he's kind of on the side. And the arc of this movie is to make him the main character. I don't think they execute all this well, but I did get what they were going for is like, because he literally says it like, I always get stuck doing all these side activities while you guys are saving the day. I'm doing cleanup. I'm, protecting some people. Like, I don't feel like the hero. And so I get what they're trying to set up. I just don't think that they execute it well. And I don't think the arc kind of plays out how I would hope it would for him to truly be the hero. And we'll get to that. But
Yeah, I follow. I see exactly what you mean. Like, this is how you've known him, so, like, this is how we're going to bring you back
we're
in.
gonna introduce him in the way you know, and then we're gonna show you why he's way more than that. But it doesn't quite pan out like that, unfortunately.
And I think that's, like, you just described the DC problem. Just like I say this
Yeah.
about other people in my life, too. It's like, don't try to explain it to me. Just explain it to me. Like, just tell me. Don't try to... They try to explain it. And it's like, you can just feel that a little bit. But whatever. Cool. Real cool.
Yeah.
Batman looked awesome. Andy, you're pumped during this part. Batman, you saw a full Batman in the first 10 minutes.
Oh, I'm ready.
Yeah,
that suit I really enjoyed.
That suit is one you don't see much.
And honestly,
it's like blue. The blue, right?
Yeah, it's like a
an
bluish gray.
Have we ever seen that in a live action?
Not like that.
No.
That felt like that
That's
dark
comic.
blue. Yeah,
that was different. That was different, and it made me want more. But I know we're not going to get it.
It was just a glimpse. We only got a glimpse.
Sucks.
Okay, so my dad's still in jail. He works at the crime unit. He gets
That's a different story. Your dad's still in jail?
Yeah, right. This is a totally different story. I could tell that one too. And he's Barry's working. He's getting crap from his boss. He's like, you shouldn't be still getting me coffee. You've been doing this for years. You're always running late, and it's just hysterical because he's the Flash, And we see Iris West.
We get news from Batman that he has found footage.
Okay.
From,
this is it.
His dad at a grocery store that would have exonerated him, and it's not good.
Yeah, it's like,
Doesn't
you
show
could have
anything.
seen his face, but you can't. So
he never looks up at the camera. You never see his face. He's coming out of the courthouse. He meets Iris.
She's nosy.
Yeah, she's a little nosy. She's
she's a reporter, and I'm working the case. So how you feel about your dad?
They know each other, kind of.
Kind of.
High school?
Went to high school or college or something.
Definitely a callback to the Snyder Cut.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. Didn't I see you a few years back?
Yeah.
Or maybe I just thought I did, and it's when he saved her.
Yeah. Just for a second.
Barry's coworkers are absolute dicks.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Just bullying him.
Yeah.
Jerks.
Really big jerks. And then
All right, flashback to Barry's mom, and this is where it's like, I didn't save my dad. The footage didn't work. It's kind of piling up for Barry at this point. Like, this has been years. I mean, this happened to him when he was, 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 maybe, and they flashback. We meet Barry's mom. This is the first time.
Yeah.
The house I thought looked just like the house from the TV show. I felt like the same angle as like how they put Barry and stuff. Felt just like the show.
Yep.
And which felt good to me. Like, I was like, this is cool. And then they, this is how his mom dies. Dad goes to the grocery store, comes back. Barry's upstairs. He hears a crash, and this was my big question. He comes down. Dad is holding mom. He's holding the knife, and it's in her stomach, right? And then he's like, He's like, go get help, Barry. And that's the scene. Yeah. It's like, oh, maybe
he's covered in blood.
Maybe he did it. He's covered in blood, and Here's my ultimate real question here that I never got answered after watching this movie twice. How did she die?
Well, I mean,
How did this mom die? Was it like a burglar? Like, was it true? Like, does anyone know?
I think that's
personally, I know.
Because of the movie?
No.
Because of the comics.
Because of the
Well,
comics.
But isn't the comics completely different than
yes.
the movie?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, well,
It
it's-
is.
Like,
but
you know a
should
story.
should there be a sequel, it will definitely be.
Well, I saw
sequel.
it. Well, I definitely saw it play out in the TV show. I know how it happened in the TV show.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I don't
so
know the
that's
TV show, so
pretty-
I just
we
know
could
the
reverse
comics.
time and find out.
I don't think we're gonna have to worry about the sequel.
'Cause it's
I guess
not
you're right. They still made the movie. Maybe they will.
gonna happen.
Yeah,
or-
exactly. Well,
This,
it just
this might be something that comes like in a long time.
from this
Is
movie.
DC that good to really come back and make this?
Will
make
James
sense?
and Peter make a sequel to this movie?
I think they might,
No.
but it might be 7 or 8 years.
We gotta start making
In
bets.
the in the
No.
comic books,
We
Barry,
might not be friends in 7, 8 years.
if I'm
Barry-
doing it right.
Barry was not in the comic books for like 20 something years.
Oh, Barry.
Yeah,
It was
like he
Jay
went
Garrick.
away. He went away, and Wally West took over for a long time.
Okay. Okay.
And then Barry came back.
Okay, that's fair. That's why they didn't show it
So-
then. That's why they didn't show it because
This
they were
is-
trying to save it for the sequel.
They're trying to save this for a sequel.
Flash villains.
may
Flash
not
villains. That's all you need to know. Flash villains.
Okay,
Right?
We'll see. We'll see.
All right. All right. He's so upset. He goes out in front of the house. I mean, he's like kind of reliving his mom dying again, and he has this like really emotional run. Like that's what he does. Run, Barry, run. Accidentally discovers time travel. Gets to the what's it called when the big dome gets around?
Chrono Ball.
Chrono Bowl.
The Chrono Bowl.
Bowl.
This is how the time travel will
It's-
happen. If you
it's,
run like a hamster and it rewinds, but kind of shows you like 100 frames of it like around you.
Hit the bowl, Barry.
Like a
Hit the pole.
hamster wheel or a amphitheater of time travel that you end up in.
And he figures, he's like, oh, I see. He kind of rewinds. He's running backwards and he rewinds to when he was saving all the babies. And so he can like poke his head out. He's like, oh, I see. Immediately goes back to Bruce Wayne, Ben Affleck, Bruce Wayne. And he's like, oh, Bruce Wayne's like, you time traveled like you did in not Nutshoff or something. It was
Yeah, wherever.
which
it
is a
was.
DC city
Yeah.
that was in, again, the Snyder Cut and the
Yeah.
first Justice League, where Barry did time. Actually, he only time traveled in the Snyder Cut. So that was what was interesting, too. They referenced the Snyder Cut in this movie. They
I
don't
don't
really.
recall. No, I thought he did it in both of them.
Did he?
No,
I don't
he only
remember.
does it. That's a good question because
So
maybe
does-
he did.
I
Because
thought
I don't
he-
even remember the first one now. Snyder
Right.
Cut, he runs and he rewinds it so that he can save the Justice League. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
they lost. He rewinds it.
But
they
is
win.
it Batman that sees it in the Justice?
But Batman knows. I
So
think.
he knows
Yes.
that
He knows.
like he's gonna time travel on this, right?
Well, he talks to him and he goes, I time traveled like I did before, but this was different because so what happens in Snyder Cut, again, you got to know this.
Yeah,
You got to hope you remember.
And we'll
You,
get
in
to
the
it.
Snyder Cut, he like time travels differently. He like runs and it like, it's not the Chrono Dome is what
no,
I'll say.
for sure.
The Chrono. You've changed
It's
it to
almost
the Chrono
like
Dome.
Or what's it called?
It's the bowl, but it's
Chrono
better.
Bowl.
It's better as dome.
Chrono Dome sounds like the event.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the Chrono
The
Dome's
Thunderdome.
pretty tight.
Thunderdome.
I want to be in the Chrono Dome, not the bowl.
So he says like, you did this before, you're
Yeah.
doing it again, and if you do it, you could do a butterfly effect and ruin everything. Don't do it. If you interact with yourself, that will ruin it. And he's like, okay, I'll think about it. Ends up bumping into Iris Allen on her way, Iris West on her way back to his apartment. She comes in. She's like, I'm not a reporter. I just want to talk to you.
Yeah. Sorry, I was a jerk.
Sorry, I was a jerk. You were
100%.
totally a jerk. And then she was like, I'm sorry, I just want to talk. And as she's talking, he realizes I can go back, not interact with my mom, put that tomato sauce in the cart, and she'll never know the difference. And that's exactly what he does. And that's part one.
Beautiful.
What's next? Anybody know?
He's ready.
Something about spaghetti,
Like-
maybe.
I'm Batman.
A lot of
He-
spaghetti
he-
in this show, this movie.
He fixes it.
So he says, I'm going to save my mom. And he does it. He goes back, puts it in, leaves. He comes back. He goes, ha, ha. He goes, please work, please work, please work. And he comes back and it's a new future. And he thinks he's done it. He goes to his house.
No. You missed. Like, he's on the way back. And this dark figure comes
Yep.
out
Big
and
part of the movie.
pushes him out of the chrono.
Oh,
bowl.
this is right. He's time traveling.
He is
Yes.
he is in.
and he
He's
starts
like,
coming
I
back.
fixed it. I'm coming back.
And
to
then
the,
he has to stop, and he
sees
he
like
sees a dark figure,
thing like crawling out of the chrono ball.
Out of the
purple,
chrono ball.
purple, black,
out
like
of the top seats of the
Okay.
chrono
Yeah, in
ball.
the
Right.
cheap
Top
seats.
seats.
he comes down, he pushes down a concessions
The
guy,
nosebleeds.
yeah,
Exactly.
runs onto the field,
He's in the 300s. He
Yeah.
runs down to the 100s.
makes it to the field, man.
He's field level.
And yes, so he pushes him out,
Pushes him out.
and this is like that's
he
crucial.
comes stumbling out.
He's stumbling out of time now.
yeah.
That's huge.
He's all wasn't he like charred up and he's at his house.
He's at his house. He sees like an old lady, and he like borrows her sweater,
takes her clothes.
and he comes in, and his mom's alive in the
Mom's
kitchen.
alive. Mom and dad are there.
Dad comes in. They're talking to him. They're hugging him. He's in shock. They sit down.
Yeah.
They're eating. They're like,
yeah,
"Tell us-
you look old.
you look older. Your
Yeah.
hair is weird.
And he's supposed to be at like college.
How's
Yeah.
college going?" And he's like, "Oh, it was good. It's good. It is good." And he
Figuring
sees
it
out the
out.
window, other Barry, and he's other. This is I enjoyed this.
Like
Other Barry bumbling.
up to the- yeah.
He's got the long hair, and he goes out and he does. This is like the stupidity part, though. Like, don't interact with yourself.
He goes.
He puts the underwear on his face.
Like that was the moment where I was like, "That's where he messed up the most." This is where he just
Yeah.
messes up the most. Like he
Yeah.
should have just like left at this
Left.
point.
Yeah, this is rule 1. Just leave.
Like
Yeah.
Bruce told you what not to do, and now you're doing it.
Literally.
You're in the Justice League.
So selfish.
I just saw it on screen. It's Ezra Miller, so
But-
don't do anything.
This is all. That's right. But it's also very true to the Flash character and the Barry from the comics. Like this is a thing that he struggles with of like fixing things.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to show that. So he finds his other Barry, no powers. This guy has no powers,
He's 18.
and he's 18. He's like,
He's
a
figured
young
out
kid.
like I came out too early. Something happened.
I'm here early.
I didn't go all the way back to where
There
I was
shouldn't be-
supposed to go.
I should be in my future. There shouldn't be two of us. There should
Yes.
be one of us. There are two. You don't have powers. You're 18. And he's like, this guy's like, he's learning all this other Barry. I have a date tonight with this girl in my class. Oh, it's Iris. And then our Barry realizes the date, and he's like, this is the day I actually got my powers. So here's this big plan. Take this guy away from his date with Iris and go give him powers at the top
Yeah.
of this crime unit with lightning
because
and
he's-
chemicals.
Yeah, he's thinking like, oh, this is time travel. Like, I should know it happens. If you don't get your powers, I don't have my powers.
It's that type of
And
time travel.
Something goes wrong, and I might be stuck here.
Yes.
We got to get you some powers.
I'll be it'll cause a paradox.
Yeah.
And we see it all. I
We
mean,
see
he
it,
breaks
yeah.
him into the building.
He takes
He
him-
phases
takes
him
him
through
there.
the walls.
Yeah.
He takes him up. He goes, okay, this is where he doesn't tell him how it happens until he sits him down and he goes, okay, so you're here.
Got all these chemicals.
Got all the chemicals.
The
and,
lightning's going to shoot through here.
yes. And he's like, lightning. He's like, no, you're not going to get struck by lightning. You're going to get doused with chemicals. And those will be
struck by
ignited by lightning.
Just it. That's
It was
it.
a really good scene. I thought that was funny.
I did too. I enjoy that. And the lightning comes through the window.
Unexpected.
Unexpectedly, and he doesn't hear it, and it hits our Flash
through the chemicals.
through the chemicals
Into our Flash.
This is classic Superman rules of transference, by the
Oh,
way.
for sure.
This is crazy Superman's transference of
Yeah.
powers.
Yeah.
And new Flash wakes up and he heals. Our Flash, new Flash coughs out a tooth. He coughs out a tooth, and he goes, oh, yo, man, you lost a tooth. And he goes, no,
No,
you
this is
lost
yours.
a tooth. And it was his tooth that fell out of his mouth and went into his
Shot
mouth.
into the new Flash.
And our Flash doesn't have his powers anymore. He tries going, he tries to phase, doesn't work. Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
this
he's
guy's lost
carrying
his
him.
powers. The one thing he tried not to do, he did.
He does the wacky run with the fingers.
Oh,
And he's just
And
like
then he-
running in a circle.
that was a payoff.
that goofy ass run where
Yeah,
he's just
I love that.
clomping around.
You
in
hear
that-
the squeaky
in that lobby.
shoes.
And we didn't talk about before whenever he was at the house and he's like, can I get anything? And Iris is like, yeah, I'll take a beer. And he phases into his neighbor's house and he comes back and he has the beers and he opens the beer and it sprays all over
Yeah.
him. That's when your Shanna lost it in the
Oh
theater.
my god, the whole theater heard her, I'm sure.
That was awesome.
All right, so he can't do it at all. He's lost his powers. Okay, and then, I mean, worst timing ever. Zod. Zod is back. I mean, talk about needing to know everything. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't know who this is, you're like, who?
Yeah.
I mean, truly, if you're not a Superman fan, you definitely are like, who? But me, I'm like, Yes.
Oh my-
Zod from
one of my-
Man of Steel.
One of my favorite
I'm
parts
elbowing
of
my
the
wife.
previous movies.
You did?
I'm like, remember?
Did she?
And she's like, I don't know. She's loving it. So we'll get to
in
that
her
later.
defense, that was 13 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
so long
plus-
ago.
plus. Yeah.
but we had just actually watched it like a year ago.
I meant to
so she
watch.
should
I
know.
meant to watch like a lot of DC stuff before, and then I was like, "Don't do that to yourself."
Yeah. I just watched the Snyder Cut is all I did.
All right. So Zod returns, and he's like, Barry's like, "Well, I'll tell you what happened last time.
Yeah.
Now let me just recap Man of Steel for you real
Right.
quick. The guy was after a guy called Kal-El, who is Superman, but no one knows that. Not even him yet. He's incognito." And he's like, we got to find Clark. And Newberry's like, who's Clark?
Who's
and he's
Clark?
like, that's Superman.
That's Superman. Come on.
That was good. I enjoyed that. That's for us.
This is when they're at the that apartment.
They're just
No,
kind of
this
walking
is-
through
this
the
is-
city.
okay, we
This
haven't
is
got to
actually right after he gives him, so he gets his powers. I don't have powers. He
Yep.
gives him his suit, and he like has the moment where you see the suit shrink and it
Come out.
grows, and he's like, "You were supposed to get in it right."
It just flops on the
Yeah,
ground.
it's not supposed to fall on the ground.
And then he goes, "All right, take the suit off. We're gonna go explore." And he's like walking through the street.
He's
and
like, yeah, I was actually here before.
I was here before. That's what
Zod
happened with
invaded.
Superman. He was trying to find Superman, and then Superman beat him.
Yeah.
He goes, "Better yet, I know all this now. All we need is the Justice League.
Yeah.
I'll find the Justice League." And he gets on his computer. Cyborg is not a
Yeah.
thing. He's
Vic-
just
he's
Vic
playing
Stone.
football.
he's just
still a football
still
player.
a football player. Aquaman just can't find him. Just no Arthur Curry. We get I mean, I
His
don't. It's
dad's
not a
not-
cameo, but it's a.
The dog.
What's his
The
name?
dog's name was Arthur.
Tamura.
Tamara Morrison.
Yes.
Yeah.
Boba Fett.
Boba Fett.
yes.
No Wonder Woman.
Right.
Just found some random lady in Vegas putting on shows or something.
Her leg was literally on fire in the
Yeah.
picture. It's hilarious. Superman, nothing.
Superman.
No Clark Kent. There's 20 Clark Kents.
Yeah.
Batman. Oh, you guys.
Batman.
All right. So he says this to the Newberry, the roommates. Batman's real. Let's go find him. And he's like, cousin's dinner. That is how we'll go
Yeah,
leave
but
our friends.
There's a lead into Batman that's kind of funny. Is the one roommate walks in and she goes, "I'm Batman."
Yeah, Batman.
And he's like,
everybody knows that.
"You guys have Batman?"
And she's like burping. And they're like, yeah, but no one knows who he is.
Yeah.
He's a mystery figure.
One of my favorite things when they were in the apartment and they were talking about Back to the Future.
Oh yes.
And he was like, yeah, Michael J. Fox, Back to the
Yeah.
Future. And they were like, what? What are you talking about?
What's
Eric
his-
Stoltz.
Eric
You mean
Stoltz.
Eric Stoltz? Yeah.
And who
was
was
Marty
originally
McFly.
supposed to play him.
They filmed
right?
the movie.
They filmed like
a lot.
half of the movie
Yeah.
or a quarter of the movie with Eric Stoltz.
and
And
he's
they
like-
were
I
they
heard
were
that
like,
as well.
Michael J. Fox. You mean the guy from Footloose?
He's like, no, Kevin Bacon. He's like,
Kevin
talking about
Bacon was
Top
in-
Gun?
Yeah, Kevin Bacon.
Kevin
Top
Bacon
Gun.
was
Top Gun. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this all
Great
this-
balls of fire.
Yeah, great balls of fire. Gay guys with shirts playing volleyball in the sand. Yeah.
No. Oh, no. It's okay. Batman's alive. We can go find him.
Barry's realized at this point he's really screwed up.
Yeah, he's like, the whole universe has been
Yeah,
rewritten.
we've
Like, from the
got no
ground
Justice
up.
League.
And, like the only one left is Batman. It's like,
Yeah.
not like, people aren't alive. Pop culture's different.
Michael J. Fox isn't.
The guy has the tattoo on his... Yeah.
Oh, ridiculous.
Yeah.
So what do? They go to Wayne Manor. They start exploring. I mean, Andy,
They have
you
spaghetti.
you start getting some Easter eggs here for sure. I mean, they see some paintings.
Yeah. You got the gargoyles on the thing.
Was that the house from the movie?
Statues.
That's
Yeah,
my first
for
question.
sure.
More or less, yeah.
I think it was pretty close.
I feel like they try to make it kind of look like Ben Affleck's from like one of the movies, but like combine it with stuff
It was
from Tim
more
Burton.
A combination.
more
of,
bright, I feel like, but
Yeah.
And it's like, let's find Bruce. We're in the kitchen, and here comes a scraggly old guy with white hair sneaking up. While they're like, "Where is he? Where is he?" He attacks him to like some stupid ass song, some like high energy song that was supposed to be like
Yeah.
funny, and him like swinging around the mop. And,
Yeah, I
like
think there's
knocking
some-
each other out. He
I
like
think-
he's like just beating up on both Barrys essentially.
They've called back to the Justice League where Batman threw the batarang.
Yeah.
But in this one it was
Stop.
the pan.
I like that.
and he
It's
just
the,
kind of
Oh,
like
that's a good.
Yeah.
That was a great callback.
moved to the side and it just kind of flew by him.
That was a good moment in that
Yeah.
in both Justice Leagues. That was fun.
Yeah. Real fun.
And who is it other than on the ground looking up, sweaty old 70-year-old Michael Keaton Batman?
Keaton, the
I mean,
Batman.
I'll give it up.
The Batman.
Right here. Hey,
The man.
PC
the myth.
Mike. PC Mike.
Thank you,
Gave
PC
us-
Mike.
Yeah, and and Big Mike got this Keaton right
I thought
here.
it was funny in that whole fight scene and leading up to it. They're like hiding his face, but then every marketing material led with Michael Keaton. It's like, what's even the point?
I know. I
think,
totally agree.
Like we all knew who this was. Like
I know. I felt
think
it
they
was
were
like the
worried.
decision was made
How-
afterwards.
that's what upset me for sure.
Cool
Yeah.
would that movie be? Much cooler had they just hidden that.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
It would have, and
But
everyone can say that. It would have been
I bet-
cooler
How
not to
could
know.
you not say that? It's just like
You're sitting there going,
the Batman.
"Oh man, it's Batman!" Because like that's the everyone knows all these different Batmans, but like they couldn't help themselves. They had to market it
They did the
Well,
same thing with Shazam when
They did.
put all the Wonder Woman stuff out there, and the
immediately.
yeah, they were really worried no one was going to come see this movie.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they're.
I think with all the stuff that had happened with Ezra Miller, they're like, we got to lead with Michael Keaton.
For sure.
Let's talk
Like,
about
without
Mike.
a doubt.
Let's talk
really
about
right.
Michael Keaton. Batman. They tell him the gist. Whole discussion about time travel, spaghetti,
More spaghetti.
more spaghetti.
There's more spaghetti in this movie than
You know, Back to the Future.
I'm
You have this
hungry.
timeline. You went back. You changed it. It skews. Everyone's like, "Oh yeah, that's it." He's like, "That's not it." Once you mess with time travel and you have a junction, that junction becomes like a junction for many time travel components. It could be, and then it ends up looking not like two lines, but just an entanglement. It's just an entanglement of time
it's a loop.
and things.
It's the loop theory of time, right?
All
Predestination.
time is happening at the same time.
Things happen because
kinda.
they've always happened.
and
Yes.
they're
Is what I've
happening
read.
like simultaneously, but also not. You know,
Yeah. There's junctions where things just happen,
And
this
this-
thing happens.
and he's like, "Trust me, because it'll matter at the end of this
But
movie."
if you go
yeah.
in back in time, it's because that's always happened. That
Right.
happened because it's always happened. It's very time travel is like a whole other podcast.
It is, especially when you start jumping around movies, because like they all
It's
do different
theories.
things.
Different theories.
But before he suits up, the Flashes get to go down to the Batcave. Andy, tell us what you're feeling. I mean, we get the music, we get the cave, we get the Batmobile, we get the console,
The mouse with the roly thing.
Beautiful,
the bag,
beautiful,
the
beautiful.
bag with the laugh.
It brought me back to 1989.
Did you feel it?
I did.
That
I did.
Batmobile?
I loved it. I loved it.
The music.
I felt like I was like six. You know, my
You felt
favorite
like
part
he
about
was
going to Six Flags is
1
just
month old.
being in that Batman area.
Oh,
going to
yes.
Batman, and you're just like around.
Andy, were you alive in 1989?
He
Ju-
was
newly.
I was born
3
in-
months old.
I was born in '88. So
Okay.
89.
nice.
We made it.
All right.
Hey,
Bunch of 88
man.
babies and 80 babies in here.
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
80.
right? They marketed it heavily with Keaton, as they should have.
Not even heavily, directly.
Yeah,
Almost
but-
Flash
right.
was
He was like
secondary.
this.
That's a
I'm
good
Batman,
point.
and I was like,
Dan
what
made a
the
good
hell?
point.
Well,
Like,
with
what-
all the stuff with Ezra, who else were they going to have
True.
sit down and talk about this movie to promote it?
Well, and that's what happened was
No
it
one.
was all fear based. It was all
Yes.
like they're not going to see it because of that stuff. You're absolutely right.
they,
Everybody
they
here's right.
couldn't have had anyone else come and talk about this movie.
All right, so then he's doing the research. We have some Barry self growth. We got young Barry, new Barry. It's really, I really was into this part. Like a different version of yourself, and him getting a taste of kind of like how he is, and now how he's being of like doing what he thinks is supposed to be right, and like he's messing everything up. Like that's very relatable. But he finds out that there is a
Kryptonian.
being held captive in Russia. We have to go get him. Batman is on the fence, but he is motivated by pretty much a speech, about Ezra, the Flash saying like, I'm sorry about your parents. I'm doing this because I saved mine, and now I'm trying to like make sure it happens. And that's all the motivation Bruce Wayne needs is like,
Yeah.
all right, fine, I'm
you
in.
talked me into it.
Yeah.
You talked me into it. Oh man, the bat suits.
Yeah.
All of them.
There were like 6 or
6.
7.
I think
Yeah.
there's 6.
beautiful.
I paused. I was like, oh, these are cool. These
You
are
have
cool.
to look at them.
You have to look
they're
at 'em.
all slightly different. There's a scuba suit.
Scuba
Yeah,
suit
for sure.
and
scuba suit. There was one with like
A
holsters.
fly.
Yes,
I
the
think
first
a
suit
flying
Yeah.
one.
is one with holsters.
and then we got like the new age classic. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's not the original, but it's like
It's
like
a spin-off.
yeah, I think it is too. It's been
Yeah.
enhanced a little bit, and he's
for
like,
sure.
yeah, I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
And the new Flash faints.
Yeah.
Don't need that. Like
Yeah.
don't need you to faint.
Too
Don't
much
try to
cheese.
show us what we should be doing.
Right.
Just let us do it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
Yeah.
The line that they'd already
Never heard
released.
it before.
All right,
75
that's part 2. We're 2/3 of the way through.
Yeah. I'm Batman.
Part 3, time to save Superman.
Yeah.
So we think.
Mm-hmm.
Batman, powerful Flash, unpowerful Flash, the three of them in a jet heading to Russia.
Yes.
They jump out, 2 parachutes, Batman, no parachute. They break in, they fight, man.
Some great scenes, for
action.
sure.
This is it. This is like your Keaton payoffs of like the close proximity fighting, diving down, making it hurt, fight, like the batarangs.
Yeah.
Like
They go back into nostalgia here.
Oh, the same fighting, like
Yeah.
the throw, but like a little bit more edgy. And
Oh,
like,
it was gritty,
and
really made me feel like the Arkham games where you're going in there and it do the combos.
There was a
back
little
and
bit of
forth.
like
yeah.
welcomed corniness when
Yeah.
they got into this
He's
bit.
throwing the batarangs out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's true. But it worked for me.
Yep.
Oh yeah, for sure.
yeah,
Anything Batman on this movie
the music too, like
worked for me
Both Batman.
because you can't really get too corny on Batman. A lot of those movies that we liked were corny.
oh man, they're so corny, and also like Tim Burton, like man, he nailed it too.
Oh,
The more I watched this, I was like, let's go,
I watched
let's go.
Tim Burton Batman before I saw this the
Yeah.
night before, and I'm like, hell yeah.
They find the prison.
It's like a big pod.
He's in a big scrotum.
Or, yeah,
Oh, here we go.
Spaceship or
And,
something.
and again, like you're going in this, and you're like, we're about to find Superman.
lockdown. It's probably made of lead and
You would think, but like,
Kryptonite.
But I
there's
already
probably a
knew.
trailer that's
I already knew.
that it's not him.
Yeah.
Like I don't like that's better to not know again.
Yeah.
You're getting mad all over again. And they find her though, and it's her. Who is this? We don't know. She looks
Right.
horrible. Let's take her out.
emaciated, like just kind of.
I thought she
shriveled
looked
up.
hot. I don't know about you.
Well, I mean, she was wearing a potato sack.
Potato sack. Well, then she gets the sun.
Right.
And
Yeah.
she-
They carry her out.
And
Barry gets shot in the
Yeah.
leg.
Well,
Young Barry.
I got shot. I didn't think we could get shot. Why wouldn't you think we could get shot?
Right.
Batman puts him on the elevator to
The
get him
lift.
out, and he puts the bomb underneath, and he goes, "How much do you weigh?" And he like pulls out the tape
A
measure.
tape measure, 7 inches.
Total throwback
How much
to
do
the
you-
first Batman.
Yeah.
Does he do that?
About
Where
108, about 100.
He's got the grappling gun and he
With the
grabs
chick.
what's her name. He's like, "How much do you weigh?" And she's like, 120.
It's a throwback.
Yeah, and
It's
he's
a
like,
throwback.
"He's
He's
like
like,
more than 120."
Level 8, level 11.
It's for sure a throwback, and it's good. I liked it.
Yeah,
Blast him up, throw him out.
The tape measure was a bit much, but
I dug it.
corny.
Yeah.
Corny, I liked it.
Why not? The way he ate spaghetti, he'd
'Cause
have
the
a tape
guy's
measure.
like a million years old, so like of course he's got a tape measure.
70, 71.
Old. They make it out. They fight the people, but then they're like down, and it's like Batman, the Flash. Oh, what happened? Oh, Supergirl. Here she is. Pretty tough. Pretty tough.
Oh, bulletproof.
Bulletproof, but like not that tough. Like
Right.
for a Kryptonian. I
Well,
guess
she's
she was
not powered up.
No,
yet.
no, and she
Oh.
passes out right after this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well,
she uses it all.
She
in
used
this
it all, and
moment.
she passed out. But like
So
she
wipes
at
out
one
an
point,
entire Russian base.
at one point, they showed a slow motion punch to the face, and I was like, they should have called the boys, and they could have helped with this.
With that,
Because like I'll
That
tell you what
would've
happens
gone
when a
through his
Kryptonian
face.
punches you in the face. Your face would disappear.
it
Right.
would be gone.
Like
fair.
she's
I
like
that.
like throwing people, and I was like, she would have thrown him a mile.
No, and what
Into
they do-
space.
Give
They just,
people what they want.
she just
Yeah.
threw him like out of frame
Yeah,
or like into the.
she was like
no.
she was like a
Like-
little stronger and a little
Right.
faster than Batman.
In
Yeah.
reality,
but
they
I
would all
took
be
that-
piles of goo.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I
But
took
in-
that as like she had just been exposed to our red sun.
You're right.
So she wasn't powered up.
You're right.
Right.
Well, was it?
That's I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, well, man, I'm out of those.
That's what I that's
I'm
how
giving it-
that's how I put it in my head when I was trying to have fun.
Yeah, trying to have fun.
Trying to have fun.
It wasn't budget. It was just having fun.
Yeah, that's why we're on this
Yeah.
podcast. We're here to have fun. Let's keep it light. Let's
Keep it light.
Keep it light.
All right.
You're fucking wrong, Danny.
All right, and listen, they save her, and it's like, all right, listen, we got her. We got to go home, and like
Yeah.
Zod, we got to kill Zod.
Right.
And she's like, I'm not really here to do that. I need to go like see what these Kryptonians are about. She goes and sees. She learns very quickly they're here to kill. Okay, maybe I'll be part of it. Okay. Meanwhile, the Flash is like, I got to get my powers back
Yeah.
because
We can't do this.
we can't
if
do
I don't
this.
have my powers. You don't know what the hell you're doing.
yes,
You just got these powers. You know, Batman, not really into this, it seems like. Our Kryptonian, not really into this.
Already
it
left.
Seems like. I have to fix this.
Batman, will you help me? And like, one of my favorite parts for sure, like the sit downs, like with Keaton talking to him, and I've been doing this so long because my parents, this happened to them, and I thought like putting on an outfit and fighting would like, I've been running from it ever since. So like, you did it, right?
Mhm.
You put on that suit and you saved your mom. Like, that's enough for me. I'll help you out. He's like, want some help?
Yeah.
And like, I hate that Michael Keaton's so good because like that, like it.
I know.
Because you're just like, that's good, but like I'm almost not buying it too. You're like, okay, but he hooks him up. Here are the chemicals. Here's the lightning. I mean, they're just shocking this guy, and
Batman
he looks.
kite.
Oh man,
Yeah.
and Other Barry is like really like. I mean, this is Ezra Miller. He can act. Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
He brings
They-
it. Like
they're-
I feel
they're
for this
good.
Other Barry. Like this Other Barry, I'm like, this
Yeah.
is a different character. He's like, don't do it. All right,
burning up.
but.
Looks like he's got the margarita burn all over his chest.
Oh, that margarita burn.
It was like the margarita burn. Supergirl shows back up.
I'll take care of this.
You know what I'll do? I'll fly him to the sky.
Yeah.
And boom, flies
Where
him
the
up.
lightning is.
Where the lightning is. You can't do this secondhand.
No.
You can't. He didn't have a wire the first time.
Right.
Brings him back down. It's like, oh
He
gosh.
still looks like he's dead.
It's like he's still dying.
He's
and
even more crispy now.
now he's healing.
Yeah.
Now he's healing. It's working. It's
It
working.
worked.
Oh, I'm so scared. And then I got to make my own suit because you get that suit.
Yeah. I'll give you your suit back, but now I need my own suit.
And we get the whole montage of him making his suit out of the Batman
Cutting
suit.
the ears off.
That was the part. Like
Yeah.
they spray paints, he does, and then just
Yeah.
cuts off the ears. They put on the suits. You can see it here on the image. And let's go fight Zod. And it's essentially everybody versus Zod in the army. Final act. Like this is it. Fight Zod, fight Zod, fight Zod. Supergirl, you fight him. The two Flashes will keep the Kryptonians busy.
Yeah.
Batman, you attack from the sky. Things are going okay. New Flash learning all sorts of tricks.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's got the cyclone.
He has
He's
to
got
learn
the
quick.
He is, and this was
He's
like
got the
this was
finger
great.
lightning.
Finger lightning. This was very reminiscent of season 1 of the Flash. This
Yeah.
was so fun, and he's like kind of picking it up. And you're like, okay, and then things start to go bad. Batman has to like take it. He's like, oh man, I've been hit.
Yeah. He can't
I'm hit. I'm
eject.
hitting my plane. I'm flying around. Like, okay, he's been hit. Well, I can't eject. He can't eject.
Yeah.
Taking this down with me.
I'm gonna
take
take out
down the
this
biggest guy.
Spaceship.
And he flies right into it and dies.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
shielded. Didn't matter.
But
Didn't do anything.
It's a big. It feels like a big part of the movie. You're like, wow,
Like, wow, he's dead.
Yeah.
he's
now
out.
he's dead.
And right before that, you skip this part slightly where New Flash thinks just gets hit in the face. He gets smoked in the face, and he's like, whoa.
He's got the scar. Yeah.
This hurts, and like maybe I'm not built for this. And he starts having like this inner turmoil where like, hey, how do we do this?
Yeah. And
And
he's
then
like, I'm fighting Kryptonians.
Yeah,
Yeah. He
And-
realizes like I'm not really a frontline guy.
yeah.
Yeah, you can see the
Yeah.
fear in his eyes.
Yeah.
You are a little sideline here. You're
Mhm.
a sideline player, and he figures it out though.
clean
I
up.
mean, clean up. But then they go right into Batman dying, and it feels like it could be. That's the end of Batman.
Yeah, you're like, that could be it. And like, okay. And now Supergirl goes against Zod, kind of gets the upper hand for a minute, has him stuck in the
Yeah.
ship, and she's like messing with his arm thing, and he stabs her and kills her.
Stabs her right
Mhm.
right, in
Through the back.
Yeah,
out,
she's-
out the thing.
Grabs the codec machine,
Yeah.
and she has the codex. And what have we learned since then? I mean, we skipped a major part. We didn't find Superman in that thing. We found Supergirl. Okay, no big deal. She's talking to Zod, and she's like, "Where's Kal-El?" And he's like, "We actually did intercept that ship."
Yeah, we thought he was the Codex, but he
Yeah,
wasn't.
in this
So-
universe,
And guess what? He
He's-
didn't survive.
nope,
Mhm.
he was just a baby, and we kind
Superman's
of
dead.
Yeah.
Superman's dead. They just kind of lay it
the
on you.
Superman we know died.
He's gone. And Supergirl, she dies.
Yep, just killed her.
Oh, there's an old ghost in here.
I think so. Haunted.
Okay, so it's like they're dead. They're both dead. The Flashes find each other, and then he's like, "Doesn't have to be, right?"
Right. Oh, we can fix this.
Time travel.
Time travel.
And here we go back to Biodome.
Biodome.
I'm just kidding.
Viva Los Biodome.
Back to the Chrono Bowl.
The Chrono. I think it should be Chronodome.
I think so too. And they find out they can do this. They can rewind time. They back it up, and it seems like maybe it worked. They save him.
Yeah.
Go around 2.
Yeah, you think?
You're like, oh, we're in a new future now.
actually-
It's just like Justice League.
Yeah,
Batman's
don't do
alive.
that. You take on this guy.
Yeah, I'll warn Batman. You warn them. But they both die again.
Yeah, Batman ejects. He's fighting the guy. He's putting the things on him, and yeah,
he has a conversation with our Flash as it's Keaton
as he's dying.
and he's like, and Barry says, we can't save you, can we? And he's like, you already did.
Yeah, you saved me, kid.
Yeah, you already did. And and we also skipped. You want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts.
Oh,
Let's
God.
get nuts.
A callback.
I remember that one. Because it was
Andy's
in the
favorite.
commercials.
Did you put
It
that
was
in your
the commercial?
That was
yeah.
in your notebook, right?
No, because it was in
Oh.
the commercials, so everyone
He doesn't
knows.
need no damn notebook for
I'm
that.
done with the notes. I already got my rating.
Batman.
You got it ready to go? All right, so they kill him over and over and over. It's like it's happening over and over, and it's just the flashes now in. Yeah, it's a loop. Now they're in the they're in the
Barry's starting
Chronodome,
to realize
and
he
he's
can't
like,
do it.
and he's like, he's
young Barry wants to keep going.
won't let it go,
Yeah.
and he's also kind of coming off of this news of like, you came back here to say to
Save Mom.
You saved Mom because she died, so like he has it in his head that like this can happen, and
Yeah.
And now, then our Barry like comes the this is actually I like this because it's all about like perspective. It's like our Barry, the older one, is like, this is an unchangeable junction or whatever they call it. He's like, this always happened, it always will happen.
No matter what path we take, that path is going to take us here.
And it's like, okay, so he explains that. And then what happens? Young Barry does the same thing over and over and over and over. And then out of nowhere, while all this is going on, the dark creature with the purple lightning shows up again.
Yeah.
And comes into the frame. And now there's like these the 2 flashes in this thing. And we find out very quickly as they kind of like fight, he blasts the mask off his face.
And but new Barry keeps going back in time because old Barry, our Barry, is like, I'm not going. I'm done.
That's over. It's
He
an
keeps
it's
coming
an
back.
unchangeable junction.
Newberry keeps going and going and going for who knows how long.
Yeah.
Newberry keeps going back in time.
And
he
then
comes back. He's got like stuff stuck out of him, and
he's got the
these
thing in his
crystals.
arm.
and he almost tries to kill old Barry.
He starts to go at him, and that's when the other thing comes in.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, there's this other thing. Who the hell are you? And he like shoots him with his lightning
That
on
new
the face.
trick.
And his new trick. And you learn like immediately, this is that Barry.
He's got the scar.
He's got the scar.
While
New
he's on the
Barry
Flash
is
has the
Dark
open
Barry.
wound.
He's Dark Barry.
He is Dark Barry.
Right. Which like to me, I was like, Savitar
Yeah.
is what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
yeah.
Could be.
Yeah, like a version of like Savitar, for you deep fans. And he's been doing this for longer than you can ever imagine, is what he says. And he says to, well, they fight, and he's like, you know what he says? He says, you actually are messing with an unchangeable moment. Like, you going back and trying to save Mom and killing her, the Dark Flash has come to the conclusion himself that that's the interchangeable moment. And like, that's the moment. And he's like, you're the one that's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they're saying the same thing to each other about like different moments.
Different moments. Same thing.
Same thing. I love that because that's what it would always come down to in my mind, like a personal, like subjective thing. But whatever, the black lightning bolt Flash, jumps to kill our Barry. Young Barry jumps in front of him, dies immediately. Like, it's stabbed. They hold each other. He's like, oh gosh. And he's dead.
Yeah.
As this is happening, holes are ripping in the multiverse. In the Chronodome, holes are ripping.
It's
I mean, you can
falling
see my face. Like, this is where I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
There's worlds.
You don't have to know
Like,
all the things. Listen
you don't have to
the
know.
Chronodome.
Chronodome is,
multiverse.
and it's ripping.
But it's colliding.
And there are worlds coming in. Green.
Ridiculous.
There's a green one. There's a blue one. There's a red one. And who's on these things? Here we go. Let's start to zoom in. Cameo time, Andy.
It is superhero cameo time for sure.
Where do we even start?
One of the first one was like black and white Superman. Like
George Reeves.
Yeah. Like the first on screen.
They were
maybe.
pretty heavy on the
50s,
Superman.
Superman was huge. And then, I mean, immediately to the blue world, I mean, Oh, actually, it went to also
You get Jay Garrick.
Jay Garrick
Yeah.
running the Chronodome.
Yeah.
And his
From the show, right? The TV show.
I'm
pretty sure it was him from the TV show.
I
I
assumed,
think so.
but I couldn't tell. Just the hat.
Yeah.
Shame it wasn't Grant Gustin, unfortunately. Why would they not?
Where was he?
Nowhere.
Should have starred in this movie.
All right, over to a
If
blue
Ezra
world.
was in the Flash, the show, then why would it not be the opposite?
Yeah.
That's silly.
And over to the blue world
With Superman and
Supergirl.
Oh yeah.
Christopher
Reeves.
Reeves brought back to
and
life in CGI.
What's her
Helen
name?
Slater.
Helen Slater.
Was she alive?
Pretty sure she's alive.
I mean, this is crazy.
But
Side
they
by
still
side,
CG'd her, I think.
side by side in
Yeah.
a world. Christopher Reeves. I mean, there he is.
But he's like CGI'd.
Oh yes,
Oh yeah,
not terrible though.
everybody
Look-
is.
He looked
No,
pretty. He looked
It
okay.
didn't look
Decent.
bad.
But they probably could have found some stock footage. that they
It
could
looked
have
a hell of a
doctored.
lot better than everything in
90%
the
of that.
Chrono Bowl.
Old black and white Batman.
Oh, Adam West.
Adam West.
Adam
Yeah.
West. Yep.
And then, I mean, definitely my favorite.
Oh yeah,
Definitely my favorite coming up.
Nicolas Cage.
Nick Cage.
Nick
Holy
Cage.
crap!
Which, if you don't know, you just think Nick Cage is randomly thrown in this movie.
I know.
Yeah.
I knew in the moment.
95% of people might
Did not.
have no idea.
Yes, which I loved.
Oops.
Which, yeah, I mean, I'm not
Real
gonna lie,
fans know.
I didn't remember at the time.
No, I was like, no, I was thinking the same thing too. I was like, no one knows about this.
Yeah.
Superman, Nick Cage project, Tim Burton. This is a project that actually had some scene shot. I think he was in the suit at some point.
Test footage, yeah.
Test footage, like a crazy looking
The
suit.
chrome suit.
Yeah.
We're talking about that. Like in the movie, Nick Cage is Superman shooting a giant arachnid photo or spider,
Yeah.
just like heat vision this thing. Like, I mean, this looked amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, shoot, this would be fun.
It looked like he just walked off the set of Con Air.
What time? Yeah, what time frame was this when this was?
It was
This
when he
was
was
like
filming Con
90
Air because
yeah.
that's why he had the long
Okay.
hair.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because the original concept was he was going to fight Brainiac, and Tim Burton was going to do all these crazy like Tim Burton-esque monsters. So it wasn't going to be like what we think of superhero movies now. It was going to be like a Muppet monster kind of thing.
I still
with
think there's
more
a
practical effects.
There's a way to do it though, because I mean, it was fun, and I do
Mhm.
miss that Burton Batman. That was cool.
I agree.
Yeah, it was weird.
It was weird
Kind
and
of dark and twisted, and I mean, there's
It
no
would have
really
been awesome to get
other
at the
way to
time.
explain it.
I think what DC has to do is move forward. Because every time they go back, we're seeing problems and things we wish we would have had. But
yeah, which
it would be cool, but don't go get Nick Cage and do it now and CGI to make him look younger.
yeah, and we'll definitely talk about like.
But
I can't wait to
yeah.
get into like how we feel about these things. It's like, okay, we saw it. There it is. The worlds are colliding. That was all the cameos I had written down from that moment. And
Yeah.
as the worlds are coming in, Barry realizes he does
I-
need to change all this.
really screwed this up. I
And-
need to go back
and it's what
to
he
where
said.
I was.
That's it.
So he's doing the
He does the backwards running, the big fingers, and ends up back at the grocery store. And huge heartfelt moment.
yeah.
You know, Ezra Miller.
He's
he-
got the glasses and
he
the
does-
hat.
He
and-
does bring it because, like, I was thinking about like if it was me and if this was real. Like that's what that's what I do in movies. Like
Yeah.
I just put myself in
Yeah.
those shoes, and I'm like,
I haven't
if
seen
I
my
had-
mom
I
for
haven't-
20 years.
and it-
She's been gone.
and I got her back,
I
and now I'm looking her in the eye and I'm being like, it's all gonna be fine,
Like,
and
this
like
is
you're
gonna
gonna
be the
die.
last
My
time.
wife was crying,
Yeah, that was an emotional
Yeah.
scene for sure.
which it's
It was
easier to
well-
cry.
very well
In
done
my
scene.
life, it's much easier to cry these days. I looked over to her and I'm like, I'm not crying. Like, I have
You got the lip quiver.
I have a rock in my throat, and I'm like, "Well, you're crying."
It was getting me.
What an idiot.
It was getting me. It was getting me, and I was getting mad about it. I was like,
same.
I'm
I
the
was-
same way.
Stupid movie.
Yeah.
and he saves the universe.
Yeah. So he takes the tomato can out,
Puts it back.
puts it back.
He puts it higher.
Nah, but you don't know that.
No, we see where he puts it. That's why I'm frustrated about the dad video
Oh,
too.
Yeah,
okay.
he puts it high. He does
Yeah,
put
he
it
puts it
higher.
And what's
You
happened?
know.
He gets
Well,
back.
he's like looking at it, and
it's
can
like
tell.
this.
He
It's like
looks at,
this.
like, the
I'll tell you right
camera.
where he puts it. It's like right here. I I just saw it last night. It was low.
yeah,
low,
it was
but,
low.
But you're
But
supposed
you
to
could
think.
see some math going on.
Aren't you supposed to think that like he's
in his head?
like looking at the camera and he looks at the camera. He's like, And I look at Misty, I'm like, he's gonna put it higher. And you're saying he didn't, but in my head, I had seen him,
and maybe
I basically knew he's gonna put this sucker higher for. Let me think why.
Yeah, I'm here.
I didn't even think about it when I was watching the
Oh,
movie.
I was already. She's crying. I'm like,
Yeah, hold on. Let me figure out the dad tomato sauce.
yeah. I'm like, he's gonna. This is how you save your dad.
Yeah. Just trying to eat some.
Well,
spaghetti.
because he's changing
spaghetti.
something. Yeah, he was changing something that would impact the future. I think that was my thought on it. Like he's not changing something that's already happened. He's changing something that will impact
His present.
upcoming.
His present.
Yeah, his present and future. So in his mind, he's like, I can do this because then I'll have the evidence I need when I get back.
Yeah,
to
without-
move forward.
Without changing anything. It's
Yeah.
pretty.
Yeah, because it's
minuscule.
not
It's
his
not gonna-
past that he's changing.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
but it's gonna.
Yeah.
It's not gonna change a lot on the grand scheme of things.
Or
It's
so
gonna
he
be
thinks.
small as far as the butterfly
Yeah.
effect goes.
But what do we find out actually?
Who knows?
He gets back. It works.
It
It works.
It worked.
The case is here. We got the footage
The
from Wayne.
footage,
From Wayne.
super
Co.
clear.
Super
Right
clear.
at the camera.
Ron
It's me.
Living. It's Ron Livingston.
It's
Right.
me. Remember Office Space?
He's
Yeah.
gonna be acquitted.
And he's gonna do it. Everything else seems the same. Iris, left him a note like, "Where'd you go the other night?"
Yeah.
Like that's the same.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets a call after the thing, and he's like, "Bruce Wayne,
Yeah.
hello? Oh, I'm so glad to hear your voice.
Oh,
best-
I'm on my
my
way,
best
Barry.
friend.
It went so well. My best friend, yeah, my best friend."
You're my best friend.
And he's like, "I'll be right there. I'm pulling up." And
Yeah.
the car pulls up, and paparazzi, and Bruce, and looking at Bruce. Who's it? And all of us are like, "Who's it gonna be?" And I'm like, Keaton, like, is your number one? Like,
I was thinking,
is it Ben again? I'm like,
Could we get a new Batman here? First time ever.
Could we get a new
Christian
fresh
Bale.
Batman?
Right.
Could it be like?
yeah,
Could it be Christian Bale? Could it be like Pattinson? Like maybe do something like crazy, Well, they do.
Oh, yeah, they went there.
And where'd they go? But to Bat Nipples.
Yeah.
Battinson.
George Clooney.
George Clooney.
Still looking good.
Hey, for you kids out there,
looking
this
great.
is this is an actor
Silver Fox.
from the 90s.
This guy, a guy that
Yeah.
doesn't age.
Doesn't age.
He played
62.
Batman one time.
Hey Barry. And Barry's like, you're not Batman.
What he said was, who the is this guy?
Who the fuck is this?
The one,
There's our F-bomb.
the
Yeah.
one F-bomb you get.
We'll take it.
Yeah.
And it's a word. Hey, guess what? That's what the Flash decided too. So this is all happening.
Yeah.
And
We
it's
just follow the rules.
who is this guy? And he's like, you're not Batman. He's like, Barry. So like he definitely is Batman. Roll the credits.
Yeah. Boom, movie's over.
In credit scene.
Applause. Just
Well, let's do in credit scene. Jason Momoa is alive.
Yeah.
Aquaman's alive.
He exists.
He
in
exists.
this
You exist here. You're the
universe.
same as the guy I knew
Yeah.
before.
he's
drunk
drowning in a
still.
puddle.
He's drunk still.
I'm home.
Kind of
this
the
is my
same.
home,
I guess he
Barry.
doesn't drown in puddles, but
It's Shark Week. He did Shark Week. All
Gives
right.
him a piece of Atlantean treasure to go get him some beer.
All right, guys. That's the Flash. That wasn't bad.
We did it.
If you talk about a movie in 30 minutes, it's pretty good.
That's
That was like 30 minutes.
We didn't say we were
Was
going
it
to do
30
it in
minutes?
the
No
Flash.
way.
Yeah, it was. It was about half an hour.
oh wow.
It's not
No
bad.
way.
3
Did we-
parts, 10 of each. I mean, you guys are
All right.
welcome. You guys are welcome. All right, man. Phew. We kind of cover a lot how we as we go, how we feel about this movie. Now's the time to just once and for all in a couple sentences say how you really feel, get into specifics. We can do like a couple round tables if we need it. Like we'll do a rating here in a minute. I just want to get some of my highlights out of the way and kick it off from there. We'll just go like around the table. The movie was a lot of fun. It looked cool. I think the CGI was wild. I felt I felt just like the cameos were just insane. Like they were so crazy and so big named that once again I was just like upset. I was just like, this is the movie. Like no wonder you needed to make sure it got out, and no wonder you put I'm Batman in the trailer. You brought Christopher Reeves back to life for this. Not Christopher, there's a lot of people out there right now kind of saying Christopher Reeves would have never done this. And I'm like, you're wrong. Like, he would have done this. He was all about DC, and he lived this stuff all the way till the end with Smallville.
Mhm.
Like, he really got into it, and he came back and played a different character. The guy that played Lionel Luthor, John Glover, spoke out about this and said he would totally do it. And I agreed. But this movie, what in the world are we doing here? But, like, I think it was almost like too much, too late. Like, so many things had happened. This is what we're doing. The story feels weird. I'm a fan that doesn't like spoilers. Most of it was spoiled. So, like, I walked out of it feeling kind of spoiled. But overall, the CGI, yes, it was crap. That Chrome Bowl was just like, I don't understand like why it looked the way it did. It just
They said it was on purpose.
They said it was on purpose, but I feel like they're saying it was on purpose because they didn't want to spend any more money
After the fact, that's their cover.
Like, yeah, it was on purpose.
was
We
supposed to
wanted
be
it to look like
a
that because we
remake- a
didn't want to spend another $100 million making it look good.
that was it.
Likely.
That was it.
I'm gonna digest it for a minute, and I'll give my rating last. Go ahead, Sam.
Okay, so right off of that, I'm just gonna bounce off of the CGI. I buy into that in the Chrono Ball.
Yes.
You're like, okay, this is fine. It's just weird.
I think that, yeah, like, honestly, if you lean more into it, even go almost animated, you know, it's just supposed to be a representation of whatever the hell I can't even fathom, whatever science and I don't understand time travel. No one does. So if you tell me that this is just a representation of whatever his memories were, yeah, I'll lean into it. You know what I mean? Bad CGI.
Yeah, and I'll tell you right, I didn't get hung up on it, honestly. During the movie, I was not like, this is so. I was just, after watching a second time, I was like, oh,
It doesn't look great.
It doesn't look, but
it
during
didn't.
Chrono Ball, I kind of get it.
Yeah, I could put that aside
because I'm like, these are reimaginations or points in time. Even if they are reality, it's a reality that I can't even understand what's going on. So I'm gonna suspend belief or whatever the hell the term. I'm gonna just get in the moment. It's the rest of the CGI. The baby's falling off of
that was real bad.
Out of the infant
in the beginning.
Yeah, like there's so much more CGI that's bad that isn't backed up by that excuse.
Yeah,
there was a couple
bad
of
babies
scenes with both berries in the same scene,
and you're like, that berry.
Where one berry was clearly CGI'd, and I was
Yeah.
like, that does not look good.
And that's not backed up by their excuse. It's the
Right.
Chrono Ball that's backed up by their excuse. Outside of that, you said earlier, like, oh, if you don't know a little bit of these like ins and outs of DC or these other films, that you're like not going to enjoy it. I disagree with that because I'm such not a DC fan that I did enjoy the film, and my wife, and I know that statement has to be somewhat untrue for like some level of spectator of this film. My wife was like, this is one of the best superhero films I've seen in such a long time, because she's so superheroed out that
it just felt
fatigue of every Marvel movie.
Yeah.
That you need to be so invested in every film to get every little nitpick. Like, you need to like every little thing. Oh,
Yeah.
well, this ties into this and this ties into this. And like those tie-ins on those Marvel movies aren't necessarily fun.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, ooh, did you know this? Like, it's no,
Yeah.
you need to watch this to understand this.
And
She
here
got
it was
to-
like he's fast. That's all I need
and
to know.
she's like, oh, Michael Keaton from Batman 1989,
Right.
Tim Burton, love it. Like, there's things that reach other viewers that aren't superhero,
That's
like
true.
necessarily new superhero fans, that can enjoy about this film without being a total geek about superhero films. That's what I enjoyed about this.
Nice.
And I kind of put myself, and I think some of it was the event. Like, I got to step back and
That's
be like,
true.
let's just have a good event.
Yeah.
I'm not a DC fan.
Just sitting down and enjoy the movie.
Ezra Miller's I think he's a spectacular actor. I love him as the Flash for some reason. He's just got this quirkiness. I don't know if he's true to the comic that much. I don't really know, 'cause I didn't read the comic, but I just love him as the character. I'd love that I just step back. There's parts of this movie that are good. Like, it's just a good, fun film for me.
Mhm.
And that's the word I'll say. It's
That's
just,
good.
It's just fun.
And I get that. I see that too. I
And
can
I-
see that side of it.
And I bought in. I bought into that. Just like, I don't need to know every little
Yes.
DC
Right.
tie-in.
Yep.
I just need to know nostalgia.
But
I'm
the
in.
the Justice League is everyone, no matter how much you know, everybody knows who Batman,
Uh-huh.
Superman, Wonder Woman, and the Flash are.
Yeah.
But like you were saying with Marvel, they've just got so many characters now. It's
convoluted.
It can be hard to keep track of.
Yeah.
And for a casual fan to sit there and be like, oh, that's got to be like Superman.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman.
My wife, Missy, does not want to, she does not care about a Marvel movie because she's like, oh, God, how many movies am I behind? And it's not, there isn't, whatever The Flash brought, Marvel movie doesn't have. Like, a Marvel movie does not have that because it wants you to have all these tiny, like Secret Invasion, to really, you have to pick up on a lot. Like, she's like, who the, or the Scroll?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, we didn't watch
Captain Marvel
because that movie sucked ass, and I'm not watching it.
Yeah, they didn't even, like, it's still
And
not
you
going to
gotta
answer
know that
everything.
Nick Fury has been off the planet.
And I'm like, if you would have watched WandaVision, you would have seen the end of WandaVision, the end credit scene, and you would have seen the Scroll in that. And then she's like,
All I'll say is, I mean, we're in the very much the now right now. Like, phases 1, 2, and 3, the Infinity Saga of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is one of the greatest cinematic spectacles of all time, and they nailed it. And like, I know it's been rough since then, but I just swear, like, Iron Man 1 to Endgame is amazing.
Not recreatable.
And I agree. And that's what I want my like Missy to watch and appreciate is that arc,
the saga.
That is what she needs to like watch and be like, I'll watch that through and through. And every movie that's a piece of that puzzle is worth seeing.
And now DC's like, great, now they're talking about Marvel. All right, Dan, you go.
All right, so I went into this saying I wanted to have fun. I've seen all this stuff. I know all this stuff. And I walked out of it saying I had fun. And I think there's a lot of things that are wrong with it. There's a lot of things I would have liked to see differently. But overall, the comedy worked for me. I think Ezra Miller playing two characters worked a lot better than I thought it was going to. I liked Supergirl. I wanted more of her in a lot of ways. I wanted different versions of
you and me both.
Keaton Batman in some ways, but I had a good time. I think you guys have called out all the things. Like, I don't disagree with most of that. I just, knowing where DC is, I kind of took this as like a one-off, not thinking like what's going to come next and what are the stakes of this into something else. And I think that allowed me to enjoy it more, being like, this is it. This is what it is. There's nothing after. And when George Clooney showed up, I said, there's definitely nothing after. There's no way George Clooney's coming back to be Batman or in the DCU moving forward. So, yeah, I mean, I had fun. It is in my mind, without a doubt, the funniest DCU movie they've made.
I would agree.
I don't think there's any comparison.
That's fair.
Suicide Squad 1
was
laughably bad.
Yes, and also and also that's, I mean, Suicide Squad, James Gunn's Suicide Squad
did have some funny moments.
I mean, my gosh, what a movie.
It did.
Okay.
But I like this more because I like the good guys more.
For sure.
I'm
And
just,
the
I'm
funny
a dork like that.
the funny parts kind of snuck up on you sometimes where I was like, ooh, that kind of surprised me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Surprised
Giggler?
Shanna as well.
Yeah, going into this movie, obviously, knowing me, Michael Keaton, Batman, I almost accidentally called the movie Batman like every day leading up to this movie.
You see it.
He had to write down the
It's
the
right
title
here.
in his notes.
Yeah, it's
The
right
Flash.
here in my notes. But the notes are mostly blank because honestly, this movie kind of was mostly disappointing just because of the fact that majority of those Batman moments were in all the trailers and everything. So I think I'm on that train now where I'm not going to watch those. It's just
Same.
It's the only.
I'm
way.
like doubling down.
I'm gonna try so hard. It's like an addiction. Like I can't.
Well, and like, think about trying to not find out about this one.
Oh, you're saying you're not going to watch what?
Trailers.
Oh, I thought you said
Just
like
trailers.
this movie.
No,
No.
trailers. Like, imagine trying to like live through this and like
I'm
not
telling
watch
you.
a trailer and not find out about Batman being in it. Like, I don't even like, it was like almost at the theater, like at the movie theater. It's like you look up at the poster and you're like, that's the Batman, like that's the Batmobile.
I'm pretty sure
You know what we really need in social media is the ability to opt in and be like, I'm already sold. So I don't want a YouTube video I can't skip because I don't want to watch it. Like, I'll be there. Like, you have my money.
Yeah.
Don't
Already.
play me an ad.
Yeah,
Like,
connect it to my
stop.
credit card and
Yeah.
look how much I spend
Yeah.
on DC.
No.
Stop showing me.
You got me.
Danny's got a good
Yes.
point because I was like, I avoid trailers and I still knew Michael Keaton was in this. Like, it was in my face every direction. I could not escape it.
Yep, I believe
Yeah.
it. But honestly, after the movie, Ezra Miller was my favorite part of it. He
Yeah.
was hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
I love him as the Flash.
But wouldn't Michael Keaton be better
like-
if you didn't know about it? It would be like,
Oh, yeah,
shit,
if that's
did you? You'd come out of that
I
theater
would
mind
be
blown.
like it would be one of my favorite movies ever.
You would think
Probably.
it's Batfleck going in, and then like you wouldn't even. Then you'd be like, maybe not, and then like you wouldn't even know, and then you'd be like,
You
oh,
go-
that
They,
one.
You go
they
back
could have
and,
lied
like-
to us.
Yeah,
sure.
Why
just
not?
do it again.
Why
You've lied
not?
to us before.
Why
Like
not hype
like
us up?
Marvel has
You showed
in
me
the past.
You showed me Hulk in Wakanda. He wasn't there.
Right.
Or just give us, I'm Batman, a
No,
small voice, a little voice.
If they would have just shown like the '89 Batmobile,
Or-
like they pull the cover off.
I don't know. Something that's too
I'd
much.
see-
I would say a
just
voiceover,
don't
just a-
know what you're putting in the trailer.
Just a
if it's
voiceover.
none of the Batman stuff.
But you put in you just show the time travel, and you're like, worlds are getting weird. They're like, there's like a Batman around here, and you'd be like, what's that?
Yeah.
Get me
What's
over
that?
there.
It's not hard.
No,
There's a whole
it's-
nother Batman earlier. So,
But to your point earlier, had to. There was something about they felt like they needed to sell.
It was fear. It was out of fear.
They had to sell tickets,
Yeah.
true.
which got me there. I mean, it got
That's
thrown in
true.
my face so damn much. I was like, I'm seeing this because I think Batman, the good Batman's in this.
All right, let's leave it all on the table. Round table ratings. We're gonna really change it up here. Danny, you're first.
All right. 3.2. If you want to see what the Flashpoint could have been, watch the DC animated show on HBO Max.
it's very good.
It's a better story. And it's way different in a good way. But I had fun. I will watch this again. Possibly multiple times. We'll see. Depends what happens. But I had fun. 3.2.
Scotty.
I'm with Dan. A lot of people are down on this movie, and it
Mhm.
didn't do well. I had a great time. I
Same.
watched it again yesterday. Still had a great time despite its flaws. I really think it might have gone somewhere else if they hadn't have canceled the Batgirl movie.
Oh God, we didn't even
Yeah.
get into that.
Michael Keaton was in the Batgirl movie. They filmed the end scene with George Clooney. They filmed that with Michael Keaton,
Yep.
Yeah.
and they cut it
And you could feel it.
Also,
because they canceled that movie, and I just think they didn't think it was going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
there's another big name in that movie that would be so cool to see
Batgirl?
in that movie.
Who?
Brendan Fraser.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Brendan Fraser is
I mean,
Firefly.
Yes,
Firefly.
please.
I
hope we
would
can see
I
that
mean,
movie somehow someday, but I don't think it's going to happen.
It won't.
I
Okay.
think in-
Sadly, I'd love to
soon.
see it. I'm not
mean,
saying it would have been
yeah.
good. I just would love to see Brendan Fraser.
Yeah,
doing
They-
stuff.
They legally
Doom
can't
Patrol.
show it.
yeah,
Yeah.
it'll have
It'll
to
come
It's
be.
just
out
it'll somehow
eventually.
the Batgirl
We'll
cut.
get
Leak.
it somewhere.
I hope.
I'm right with Dan. 3.2. It's fun. I'll watch it again mainly because I paid $25 to buy it yesterday.
To own it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, the extra
You're-
$5, I might as well own it.
All right, Sam, the sleeper.
Sammy Z.
We're saving
No
we're
sleep.
saving Giggler for last.
No sleeping during this movie. I bought in. You know, I'm gonna flaws aside. Like I said earlier, my issues with this movie, I don't care. I'll give it a 3-3 because I just didn't watch a lot of trailers. Yeah, Michael Keaton got thrown in my face. Ezra Miller is a good actor. I really don't think you need to be such a big DC fan to enjoy this film. Like, just step
Yeah.
back. Step back. It is it's kind of fun. It was just kind of fun, and you just look at it. Don't get too serious about it. It was just finally a goofy, fun DC film that I think landed on some respects. They needed to lean in on some areas that they failed on, but I think it was a good film. Like, I'm going to be opposite of most reviews out there that you read. I think it's a 3-3 out of 4.
Nice. It's a good score. Fair share.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go next, and you're last.
All right.
Then we'll hear from some other folks before we wrap it up. I had a good time. I harp on it, and I'll tell you what. As a movie itself, I agree. Like, I'll just rate it. Just me, Logan, watching it. Funnier than I thought. Totally agree. The Batcave, Keaton, time travel, 2 berries. I mean, I had fun. I'll watch it again. I bought it because I was happy to watch it. I'll put it on at some point, but I know it's not going to be a high rewatch, and that's how I know. but like I have other feelings that like are coming into it. So like, let me just say my rating as the movie if it was just pulled out of time and I didn't know the studios and I didn't know about like social media and like media and like
Just pull it out.
like if it was just the movie, I give it, 3.2, 3.3, 3.25 just to be different and like mix it in the middle. All right, what I'm upset about, where my feelings come from, are these studios and all of us as the people that watch it that like we're just constantly like just left at the end of the road. Like we're the last ones that anybody cares about, and that's so apparent. It's so clear. And like whenever you show stuff in the trailers like this, and we are fans of it, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like if you were a huge fan of The Bachelor and they just showed you the end, like in a trailer, and then you like started it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's how I feel when I watch this stuff. Like I just feel like I'm going in and I'm like, I've already know.
And
like
you're expected to eat it, regurgitate it, spit it out. Next one.
Exactly. And I mean, I like the surprises, and like I'm just tired of the money grabs and the James Gunn and Tom Cruise hyping this up the way they did was like just like nasty. Like, you just don't even know. Like, say things that are like true. Like, I just don't know. It just feels so promotional. It feels so like just go out and see it. And like I just shouldn't like feel that. Like if you're marketing it, it should just be like The Flash. I totally agree with what you said about like the Bale movies. Like it was just like the bat signal and it was different. And you're just like, wow, what is that? Like you just don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
And like now it's like, you know everything. So that's what I'm mad about. The movie itself though, a DC film, one of the better DC films of all time. For sure. Like from A to B, like from the beginning to the end. All right.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Like pretty good.
I think you could slap this right at the end of the Snyder Cut. I would sit there for 6 hours and watch the Snyder Cut than this.
I love the Snyder Cut. I talk about it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Giggler.
Wow.
Bring us home. Bring us home, and then
that's
we'll
a long watch right there.
give us that rating.
But
And your final thoughts.
so this movie was touted to be the best superhero film ever, and that is my issue. This is not even remotely close to that.
Who said that?
Thought it was James Gunn, right?
Probably.
Tom Cruise said it.
Well,
Tom Cruise said the movie we need right now.
From James Gunn, I'm mad. From Tom Cruise, I bet he was watching it just like Sam.
Yeah.
He probably doesn't know crap about these movies and probably had a really great time.
And
Yes.
and they pay him to promote movies. That's
And
like,
I think he had some weird tie into this movie. There was
Warner
like a
Bros. Yeah,
Easter
somebody.
egg somewhere.
That's
I think
where
I read.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's a bad movie. I enjoyed it a lot. It was funny. I enjoyed like just the mini Justice League that we're kind of seeing, alternate Justice League. But in the end, it just really didn't hit with me, and this is mostly just the disappointing of Batman. I really wanted so much more there, and now they're talking about like, oh, there could have been this Batman Beyond potential.
Right.
That would be really cool, but I'm not gonna get my hopes up remotely because of just how this was. Really.
How it played out.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know.
Did you say your rating?
No.
You're
right.
saving it. Keep going.
What's funny is I wrote this down hours ago, and it's 3.2 out of 4.
I think all the ratings
Same
are
as you
much
guys.
higher than
I'm happy I
thought.
went first.
Okay, all right. That's us. You guys heard how we feel. Let's hear how other people feel. Rotten Tomatoes, the tomato meter out there is at 64%. It's about a week ago. That's the tomato meter, 366 reviews there. The audience score, over 5,000 verified ratings, puts it at 83% audience score.
For a flop.
I mean,
Yeah, that's strange, but I mean,
this isn't horrible,
the
though.
people who did show up to watch the movie mostly liked it.
Yep, and we got some reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. Isaac says, going back in time and revisiting nearly every previous era of DC in order to tell a story about the importance of letting go, The Flash is just running in place. Nell Minnow says, The Flash is centered in the sweet spot between action, comedy, and heart because it is grounded in a deep affection for the source material, but is not afraid to play with some of his absurdities. Leonard says, blame the ancient Greeks for inventing the general idea of the multiverse, blame DC for propagating the concept in one of its Flash comics in 1961, and blame anyone like you for liking this hot mess of a film.
Wow.
All right, Wyatt K. I teased this out earlier. He was at our screen and social. He had a great time at the event, but he says, unfortunately, the movie did not feel the same. Had some high hopes that the DCU would end a little better prior to the reboot. It's possible that I was so turned off by Ezra Miller at this point that it was clouding my judgment of the movie. Supergirl was pretty good, but the CGI points were unforgivable, and it makes it worse that the director leaned into it being a style choice. Good riddance, old DC, and hear ye for James Gunn.
The Flash, first off, I think James Gunn really made a mistake when he hyped it as like one of the best superhero movies ever made. That was that, and I think that was probably, you know, coming from above him to help promote it. I think that was there was a little bit of that going on, but nah,
You think Logan Roy was in a corner with a gun? Like, you better.
Logan Roy.
I hope that's how it went down.
Yeah.
But no, it's just that was a frustrating movie for me. Aside from just the CGI, it was bonkers how bad that CGI was. Like, where I really feel like there was a certain point with all the Ezra stuff going on that Warner Brothers, like, even though they had time to like really flesh that out and make the CGI as good as possible, I think there came a point where they were like, we're not spending another dime on this movie because they didn't know what they were going to do with it. And so I think that there's something to be said about that, but
yeah, I felt like some of the extra like post-credit scenes of like Endgame with the Hulk, where it's at the end of the movie. You can watch the bonus credit scenes, and here's kind of like an unfinished version of the Hulk talking to Thor. You're like, oh man, this looks kind of wild. Some of that was in the Flash, like during the time travel scenes.
All the Chrono Bowl stuff was just.
They covered that up.
All the multiverse stuff, I think, has really been a letdown overall when it comes to DC and Marvel. I think the only I was Spider-Man No Way Home really nailed it as far as like that could have been so much worse than it was, and I was really pleasantly surprised that they were able to sort of land that plane. But everything else, like Doctor Strange was pretty rough. Flash was pretty rough. The only one I think that's really got it right is Spider-Verse. Spider-Verse has nailed the multiverse aspect in a really creative way, but everything else, it just feels like missed opportunities. For Flash specifically, the best part was like Michael Keaton as Batman for me. Like that was easily the best part. But I also felt like they showed all of his lines, like every line that you would clap or cheer for in the theater was shown in the marketing. Like they spoiled it completely, like all the way. And then to make matters worse, while they're like for the movie, and you're gonna have to forgive me, it's been a couple months since I've seen it, and I only saw it once because I ain't gonna watch it again. But then Batman, like then he gets killed off, but they've set it up in a way where it's like, well, Flash is about to reverse all this and then he doesn't, and then it's like, so you sort of get robbed of that moment, like of Michael Keaton actually like dying and sacrificing himself. Because you know what I mean, like
it was like a throwaway. It was like a throwaway.
Exactly, it was a throwaway, and it was just really the whole thing just really frustrated me. I just didn't care for it. I really have like when it comes to watching movies and shows now, like it really boils down to when I watch it, when it's over, do I want to watch it again? Like that's my soul. Like, did I have fun, and do I want to watch it again? When I got out of Spider-Verse, I went and watched it again. When I got out of Guardians 3, I watched it again. If I come away from it being like, I'm okay if I never see it again, then that's pretty much my barometer.
You've perfectly set me up. This is exactly the perfect moment to plug this in. We go off a 4.0 scale when we rate our movies. It's like a GPA. We do, people hate it, and that's probably why we do it at this point. We love it, and it's a 4.0. Why don't you do this for me? Across the Spider-Verse, Guardians, The Flash.
Spider-Verse, I think, is probably a 4.0. That's pretty. They got to stick the landing. I don't know how it's going to end, but so far, both of them, they've just knocked them out of the park. For Guardians, are we just talking about Volume 3 or the whole trilogy?
Let's go.
Let's just 3.
Let's just go Volume 3 because we know those other two. And honestly, what led me into this was what usually plays into our scale is that rewatchability. Like the moment you said that. So yeah, Guardians, just 3 the movie.
I would say 3.5 for Guardians, and then for Flash, I would probably say like a 2.
Woo! Ouch.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fail.
Yeah.
Fair share is what we say.
I mean, like, I love the stuff, right? I mean, I love all this stuff, but I do think that, like, I don't know how you guys feel lately, but I mean, everybody's been talking about superhero fatigue, and I know I've been feeling that, for like a couple of years now, where I feel like, and I agree with, I think James Gunn is the guy that was talking about, I think he sort of had a thing where he's like, he doesn't believe in superhero fatigue per se, is that it's just the quality of movies, right? And I agree with that, because, like, I loved Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I loved Across the Spider-Verse. I hated The Flash.
Right.
It just depends on, like, a good movie at the end of the day is a good movie. It does, there's no genre specifically that I love or hate. I love all genres as long as it's a good movie.
But echoing a lot of thoughts, I mean, definitely the letdowns about I mean, when Clooney came out, man, I was like, that was the nail in the coffin for me. I was like, okay, so you don't care. Like, you don't care. Like, you brought out George Clooney, and that to me was the moment where you were like, fuck this.
I mean, it was cute for what it was, right? It was fun, but
every kid in America going, who is that?
I think they really really just showed how much they knew they were going to throw that movie away.
That's what I thought.
I mean, but that was all the cameos in that movie, right? Like, none of those cameos were really, it was all inside baseball, right? It was all like Christopher Reeve or George Reeves or Nicolas Cage. Like, nobody, only guys like us know that Nicolas Cage was in talks to be Superman at one point.
He did fittings for the superhero suit.
Right.
The chrome suit.
So I don't know. I don't think it was. I think that's kind of a mistake that comic book films are making in general these days, right? The whole idea that everything has to be connected is, I think that while that was an incredible feat for Marvel for the first phase of the Avengers and all the way up to Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, really, I think the fact that they're so set on keeping that going, I think and the fact that now James Gunn really wants to do that as well, and he wants to connect not only movies to cartoons and TV shows, but video games and the whole world. It's all going to be in the DCU, and I feel that you're going to get to a point with, like, casual audiences where you're just going to lose them. Like I for example, I got Secret Invasion early to preview, and I had my two little brothers were visiting from out of town. And they're not as big into this stuff as I am. And I was like, hey, I got this early. You guys want to watch it with me? And they were like, I haven't watched the last few things, so I would be completely lost. Not really. They just have lost complete interest in it. And I think that it's because it's so overwhelming to think about. Like, imagine trying to start somebody on Marvel now.
Right.
And we're like 27 movies deep or something, however many movies it is. It's, it's insane to try. When I try to think about like talking to my mom about what's going on in the MCU, it's like, there's no point. Like, she has no clue what's going on. And I think most people are kind of like that. And so I think they've kind of dug themselves into a little bit of a hole like that, which is why I think that stuff like the Batman is so important. Like, you need things that is like, this is its own thing, like, and it's not connected to anything else. Like, it's just like, just enjoy this one movie or this one trilogy, and that's all it is.
Yeah, unless you can pull off stuff like Guardians, and then it somehow kind of like works on
even
every
Guardians
level.
It's just a good movie.
That's true.
Yeah,
it always comes back to a good
Guardians is
story.
also-
Yeah.
I feel like Guardians has also been very isolated for the most part. Like, the trilogy itself, you can watch it without like, it's cool to see them pop up in the Avengers movies, right? But the trilogy itself has always felt very isolated. Like, they
out in space, literally.
Yeah, you're not waiting on anybody else to show up, like, so I don't know. They've always felt like a little bit of a sidebar to the rest of the MCU.
I think the superhero thing in general, they're getting to a point to where it's the reason I dropped out of regular superhero comic books.
Same, exactly.
It's event fatigue. Everything ties into everything else, and if you want to know what's going on, you got to get 13 other titles and read what happened with Thor and Miss Marvel, and you got to read what happened with, The Thing, and not only Fantastic Four, but he's over in this other issue, right. And he comes back, and you have no idea what's going on.
And there's no stakes. because it's become a joke at this point that like comic book characters don't stay dead. We know this, like they're always going to come back. So there's really no truly emotional stakes, which gets compounded even more so by the multiverse, right? When it's like, oh, well, if a character does die, well, there's infinite versions of them somewhere else that we can kind of pull from. And then on top of that, you've got this doubling up of characters, right? Where it's also like you've got the Iron Man, but then you've got the female Iron Man, you've got the Thor, and you've got Lady Thor, and you've got it's just
Thor's
it's just,
the kids, and then like the young ones, and okay.
Yeah. Well, in
so
DC, there's like
versions
6
of the
different
same
Flashes.
Character, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think it's sort of not to put it too much into pro wrestling terms, but it's like having like a bunch of championships, right? Like you just start diluting it. And so after a while, if everybody's got a belt, then what's the big deal anymore? Like it's not special anymore.
Right.
For me, it feels like homework. It's like if you want to stay up to that event fatigue, you have to watch bad movies just to stay. I mean, some of these are
just
bad.
to stay in the loop.
I felt like that with Secret Invasion. I felt like I have to watch this. And halfway through, it's not going well.
You didn't finish it?
Oh, no, I didn't finish it. I know what happens because
you're not missing it.
See, I'd rather just like, you know what, if it sucks, I know it sucks. I'd rather just watch it on YouTube, like in 25 minutes.
Just do a recap.
Somebody does a recap. I don't know. There's plenty of channels out there.
Well, that's why we're in this business. We're going to make a lot of money doing this. We're going to tell people.
Every movie, they're just going to get worse.
Yeah, exactly. They're only going to get worse, and somebody's got to talk about them.
Oh, man. Wow.
Well, great. This has been the worst place to land, and I'm so happy about it because it's so real. I feel like this is like the part of the everything going on. Like the real fans that are in this that love this stuff, we're the ones saying we're just kind of like, hey man, you got to do this better, got to do it right. Nothing has felt like phase 1, 2, and 3 of the MCU so far.
I know. I don't want to be a cynic about it, right? Like I feel bad because I do love this stuff, and I think that we all come from a place of loving it, right? We want it to be the best that it can be. I mean but it does get to be, there is too much of a good thing, right? You can't have too much, and then it gets it's been too much. And the quality, you're gonna have one or the other. You cannot have quantity and quality at the same time, but you got to pick and choose.
Well, we have taken a ton of your time. Let's go into something future state then. What are you looking forward to? What gets you excited nowadays? What events aren't feeling fatigued? What things are in the future that you're looking forward to coming up? You got any countdowns happening?
I'd say the thing that's on the horizon that I'm most looking forward to is probably Deadpool 3. I think that I think Ryan Reynolds is, I think that he's somebody who feels very responsible for that character. So I think he's going to put everything that he can into it. And I think with Hugh Jackman coming back, it's going to be fun to see. So I'm most looking forward to that. And I do think that the Marvels look surprisingly better than I would have thought it looked. And this is coming from a guy who really hated Captain Marvel. Like Captain Marvel is like the worst movie in the MCU in my opinion.
Yes.
But I think the Marvels looks fun. And then Superman Legacy. I mean, I'm a huge fan of James Gunn and anything that he does. And so I think he always puts a lot of heart behind his stuff. So those are probably the projects that I'm most excited about in the I don't know when it's going to be. I mean, I just want these strikes to end right now. I don't know.
I don't think that's going to end anytime soon.
What's next for you, Chris? You got any gigs coming up? Any comedy shows? Any videos or interviews that people should be looking out for in the near future?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a few things on the horizon. A lot of these things I can't talk about until they're actually posted or whatever. One cool thing that I have coming up, I'm going to France in like 2 weeks to go try out the new Assassin's Creed game.
Oh wow!
Damn.
So that'll be pretty fun. And then
in France.
Yeah, and then I'm hosting I'm not hosting. I'm headlining a club called I think 731 Comedy Club in Jackson, Tennessee. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday. So those are a couple of things that I've got coming up on the horizon that I can talk about.
Very cool. And you're down in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
We actually have we have some ties down there. We're in St. Louis, 5-hour drive. It's definitely like a week. It's a weekend getaway.
There's a club in St. Louis that I used to do shows at.
Funny Bone.
Yes, that's the one.
That's the
Is it
one.
still there?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
still
they're
there.
still there.
It's still there.
Okay, nice.
Have you heard of the podcast Bussin' with the Boys with Barstool Sports? You know that's two football players in Nashville that do like their podcast over the last 3 years has really blown up down there. Well, everywhere.
No. If you think that I am overwhelmed by the amount of TV shows and movies I have to cover, then I can't even dip my toes in a podcast, man. It's too much.
Yeah.
Very cool. No, that's okay. We had to ask. It's our big tie to Nashville. Guys, any questions for Chris Giggler?
What are you watching tonight when you get off with us? Like what are your
I
next
don't know
thing
yet.
that
My
you're
fiance is saying she wants to rewatch the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, so maybe
That's
we'll
fun.
pop one of those in. I don't
Oh.
really know yet.
She's been
That's
seeing those.
That's
she's,
random, but I like it.
no, she's been seeing those posts on Instagram. Bring it back. It's gonna save Disney. All that.
I love the first two. The first two I think are just iconic. After that they get a little meh, but the first two are fantastic movies. Yeah, I don't know. It's her day off, so we kind of go back and forth, and like she'll pick and I'll pick. Compromise. That's the secret, guys.
You don't have to justify watching this. We understand. Everyone gets it. Scotty Scoop. Question for Chris.
We are a week away from Blue Beetle. Is it going to save the DC universe?
You know what? No. But I do think that I forgot about Blue Beetle. That looks fun too. So long as they haven't given away all the good stuff in the trailers, I'm excited about Blue Beetle.
So you're not going to like it then? Because I think the trailers, I mean, come on, can we just be honest? The trailers and everything just spoil now, and that's just the way of the world.
I think it looks fun.
It's been my favorite thing to go to the movies and not watch trailer. Like, I have learned this about myself. The last few movies that I've loved the most, I went to go see Talk to Me last weekend and had no idea what it was about at all. Didn't watch a trailer. I saw on Rotten Tomatoes that it had like a 95%. So I was like, okay, sure. And I loved it. It's awesome. Everything Everywhere All at Once was like that for me.
Oh my God.
I love that.
My favorite movie last year for sure.
Yeah, me too. So same. And so I really am getting to a point, and I honestly don't, I mean, there are certain movies that I think Marvel doesn't have to market. DC too, like show me a poster and like that's it.
That's it.
Or a little, maybe a teaser trailer or something. And and I'm there. I remember when The Dark Knight came out, and the first teaser was just the bat symbol and the blue flames behind it, and you could hear Heath Ledger's Joker. He said this quote. Which one was this? I don't know. Something about setting the city on fire, and then he laughed. I don't know. But it was the first time we heard Heath Ledger's Joker like actually speak. And I knew from then, I was like, I'm so in. Like, I don't need to see anything else about this till I'm sitting right there watching it.
Yes. Let's go back to that.
Yeah, I know. I love that. I miss that. I mean, when every single thing, major spoilers. Like, I mean, Shazam, let's just show Gal Gadot. The Flash, let's just show Michael Keaton saying I'm Batman. Like, what are we doing? Okay, moving. Sam the Sleeper. Did you want to ask anything? Because you had to step out and use the bathroom during a lot of his talking, so maybe you missed something.
That's why I drink whiskey on this show. No, I got one outside. Let's step away from superheroes, movies. All right, you got comic book. You're a stand-up, comedian. You got gigs. You got a cool gig in general. What are you doing if it wasn't this? What would you be doing?
Well, I was going to. I was actually getting my master's for English. I was going to be a teacher because I didn't know what I wanted to do. So that my plan was really to go to school until I got my doctorate and then just teach. That was initially the plan, because I had no clue. And then I started doing stand up, and that sort of took off, and I ended up quitting school the semester that I was going to earn my master's.
So close.
But hey, you're still teaching us all sorts of stuff. So it still kind of happened.
Sure. There. Yeah. Thank you. That's so nice of you to say.
Dan, you already asked a question, but do you have any others?
I see the poster, but what's your favorite Star Wars? The movies.
I'm gonna say Return of the Jedi.
Great answer.
Yeah. Yeah, Empire Strikes Back is, I mean, it's classic, but Return of the Jedi, I love that it's a happy ending, and there's so much in that movie that I love, and Darth Vader turning back to the good side. Yeah, I just love Return of the Jedi.
Awesome.
Chris, Killian, comicbook.com. Thank you.
Thank you. And by the way, lovely radio voice. I can hear it when you talk. I'm just like, wow, that guy deserves to be on radio.
Oh shoot! Thank you very much.
Just look at him.
Can you see his
yeah,
face?
just nicer than these guys, of course. No, I appreciate that. You know, we paid for the mics. We're sitting here. We're trying it. We've been doing this 4 years. This is just one thing. We got some projects that we might kick off, but this one's going just fine. We have a lot of fun, and I mean, this has been a journey. The fact I started off watching you. And then we chatted for back and forth. Even that part's kind of funny. And like, here you are, worlds collide. I really appreciate it. And let's keep talking about stuff because the fatigue is real. The genres are changing. It's all evolving. And who knows where you'll end up and who knows where we'll end up. So let's do it again.
Sounds great, guys. I'd be happy to come on anytime. Just DM me.
It's worked.
Right.
It works.
So I answer. I like to. I mean, I try to talk to people. I try not to be a jerk about it, but I don't say yes to every pod. I get a lot of podcast invites, and this was like the one. I was like, I need. They're mostly superheroes. I feel that. So great title.
Thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate that. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, Chris.
Cheers.
Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Logan's not sleeping tonight with that compliment.
How about that? Yeah.
I see the table rising.
Oh my
over there
gosh.
On that side a little bit.
Carrie, wait till you hear this.
Oh my God.
The Flash, folks.
He did his best with what was given to him.
And we got a whole slate of stuff to see eventually. And speaking of which, it's late. Let's get into coming up and wrap it up. Woo! Really kept you guys here this time. And,
It doesn't even feel late.
No, it feels like,
Yeah.
I know, it's like one of those times where it's like,
I thought we were doing good on time. I was like, it's what, 9:20?
everybody's
No?
getting home late. Tell all your family members, sorry.
I can't. They're all asleep.
They're all asleep. We have
Same.
speaking of the DC slate, we are about wrapping up the DC Legacy stuff. This was technically the universe
Yeah.
reset. You know,
Reset,
really,
right, guys? Yeah,
that's
that
what he's
reset.
up-
Okay, what the F is
whatever
that?
whatever that means.
That's
because
We'll find out in 1
Whoa.
week.
Ooh, I like
that's
this.
that's the timer of like the literally just like this like down here. The
we should
lights just
do-
went off literally in my own basement.
We should do the whole podcast like that.
In dark. Blue Beetle in a month. Aquaman later.
A month? No, that's next week.
Yeah,
Next week.
I'm seeing it in a week from today.
You already got tickets?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh my God.
Elmo Thursday night.
And then all sorts of other DC stuff. I feel like
let it-
I feel like
Somebody's telling to shut
somebody's
it down.
messing with us. I feel
Carrie's
like.
upstairs like, get
Yeah.
out of here.
We got Marvel stuff coming up. We saw Secret Invasion, but Loki season 2 is the next thing on the horizon. Deadpool 3 is coming, and the Marvels are coming. So we're really excited about all that stuff. We have Mission Impossible that just came out
It was like a month ago.
like a month
Yeah.
ago. Well,
Yeah.
we haven't been in here. We also have Across the Spider-Verse that we have all seen that we want to do an episode on, I believe.
Absolutely.
Okay,
love
so we'll
that.
do our own
Love that.
feature for that. We'll talk about
Sounds good.
all these. Yeah, sounds good. Ahsoka, that's coming, Dan. You're ready for that.
Looks good.
Trailer looks good.
Part 2 of Dune coming
Again.
up. And yeah, the next episode, we already talked about TMNT and then those other 2 Marvel shows. So Across the Spider-Verse, get that in your queue. One that we love rewatching. I've only seen it the once this week, but man, can't wait to bust it open on the show. And then we'll have be preparing for Beyond the Spider-Verse. So very, very excited. Merch at mostlysuperheroes.com. Subscribe where you get those podcasts. Watch us on video. Watch us in your podcast app. Listen to us and go do that support page. You know, we're looking for ways to give you exclusive content, and we can't wait to do it again with you. Holy cow, what a journey. Giggler, final goodbyes.
Thanks to Chris for being here today. That was
Chris
Excellent.
Killian from
Excellent.
comicbook.com. Thank you so much for joining us. What a treat.
legendary.
Legendary. Scotty Scoop.
I will do my best to not get injured before the next episode.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. And we'll try to get in here like not 2 or 3 months from now. We'll try to get in here sooner. You guys can tell that like we make this happen when we can, but
Yeah.
you might have another medical emergency.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. Sam the Sleeper.
No,
do it.
thank you for having me, guys. It's awesome every time I'm in. So appreciate it.
I'm
Thank
glad that
you
4
all.
hours felt like nothing to you.
It did. I could do this
Same.
all night.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And Danny P.
Thanks everybody for joining us on this adventure. It was a fun one. You know, we caught
Yes,
up
sir.
on a lot. Hopefully you enjoyed it.
Hell yeah. We do it for you guys. We're an independent podcast. Go check us out at mostlysuperheroes.com. Tell a friend, enjoy, subscribe, and most of all, Take it easy. See you next time.
Really got that one pretty fast.
That probably looks so cool.
It actually the view I have up in this corner of
Dan's
all
still
of you
there.
doing it at the same time was pretty